Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. We're here today to talk about the Eve mission that we did on Saturday. That was the focus of our 12-hour stream. Thanks to everybody who came out to that. It was super awesome. But now we need to get back into the swing of things with a regular, normal stream. Nothing weird. No marathon. It's just going to be regular KSP. So, why don't we jump into the game and see how things are looking? Oh, and I got the camera fixed, so you guys can see me now. Hello, everyone. Oh. Let's go. Checking out the career. Make sure my chat is visible. My small screen. So, yeah, right, this one. I think we picked up a rescue mission. So why don't we start with a simple rescue mission? In fact, I think... Oh, we had already started that. I believe Valentina is actually out at the Mun right now with our new person available. Also, the main focus of the next couple of streams is to transfer crew between vessels, which means we're going to need to send another vessel. And since we also need to build a new orbital station around Eve, we're just going to send the same mission again. And honestly, I don't know what we're going to do with it once it gets there. Maybe just park them kind of close. But we'll see how it goes. So why don't we start by finishing up our rescue mission, which is at the Mun station, I believe. So here they are. We've got Mike in charge of the station. Garely is our... Who's Garely? Oh, wait a minute. Who is Garely? Hang on. Garely is... Is Garely just another pilot that we happen to have on board? Okay. Well, we're definitely going to have to put Garely onto the shuttle. So Garely, where are you? There you are. Transfer over to thing. Now Mike and Bob are the only ones on the station. And we can transfer these guys back. Actually, hang on. Why don't we wait until we're a little closer to where we want to launch from? That would be smart, right? Also, if you'll recall, our Eve, the station around Eve, the Eve station, we're going to have to keep in mind that it is in a retrograde orbit around Eve because that's just how it's going to be. And that's how things are going to go around Eve for the time being. Let's go ahead and undock. Easy. And we should have plenty of fuel to get us back to Kerbal. Not a problem. Hope everybody is having a great week so far post-Christmas. Some of you are probably, if you're students, you're probably still on winter break. That's awesome. I have a couple of days off from work because I needed to take time before the end of the year. But I will be back at work later this week, working hard as I always am. So, I'll probably start the burn now. We've got enough fuel. If something goes wonky, we'll just fix it en route. Another thing we need to keep in mind is that we built 2 probes that we sent to Eve. One of them splashed down in the Explodium Sea, which is probably fine. The other one didn't quite have enough Delta V to get us to Gilly like I had hoped. So maybe we'll be able to send something along in the next transfer window that can do something about that. I would like to send a shuttle that we can send Kerbals back in. So sort of a, like this shuttle here, the crew transfer shuttle, but for interplanetary trips. So maybe something with a nuclear engine. All right. We probably afford to a little more rest on this, I think. Do do do. And as I say that, I don't bother rusting that much more. It's not like we're hurting the Delta V, right? Yeah, this one's not great. I probably should have maneuvered this. We're going to be coming in really fast. Kind of gross, actually. Yeah, wow, look at this. Thing's going to send us interplanetary. All right, let's knock it off for now. And maybe we go radial in. I think that'll get us a little bit close. Yeah, that's better. That's more of what we wanted. I think the sweet spot is like not quite 45, but between, I don't know, close to 45 in this general area of the orbit. And that will hopefully be more useful. So go ahead and set our alarm. And seconds, as it always is. Why are we warping? That's why. I guess if you're hovering over the thing, it doesn't let you do anything with the SAS. Good to know. Got my big bottle of water again today. Gotta stay hydrated. That, I'm not sure how I managed. I only used one bottle of water that whole 12-hour stream, which I think was enough. I mean, this thing's pretty darn big. Alright, let's get down to the periapsis. We'll give like a 3-minute warning. So, and this should be pretty straightforward. And it looks like we're going to be coming in over the desert. Nice. Might even land pretty close to the KSC. Delete. All right. Let's get into position for separation. And just ride it out. So, if you were not here on Saturday, I don't blame you, it was Christmas. I was asking everybody what they got. We had some pretty cool presents. Oops. Some pretty cool presents. Somebody got a wireless gaming headset. Somebody got a new computer, which is super cool. Love me some new PC stuff. And then I can't remember what other people were saying. Those are the two that really stuck out. I'm sure a lot of people got some cool stuff. A lot of people got some like meh stuff. I got a mug that says Cat Dad on it and $100. And speaking of cat, my cat is around here. You can probably hear him asking for attention. He knows where to go if he wants attention. So if he comes over here, I'll let you know. Yep, there he goes. He's picking up slightly on the microphone. So don't mind him. He gets very loud if my wife leaves the house. Oh, there he is. He's come over by the desk here. Yep. I see ya. You're doing great. Give him a pet here. That'll calm him down. For a little bit anyway. All right. Looks like everything is good here. It seems like we're going to be waiting for a bit on any news from the James Webb Telescope, which is kind of a bummer. Had a successful launch Christmas, right there in the morning. Oh, somebody was in the chat actually that lives in Florida, and they say they can see the launches from their backyard or their front yard, from their house, I guess. And that's pretty cool. I live in a very small town. Nothing exciting really ever happens here. I guess we get like the Oktoberfest stuff, because there's a brewery in town that's like pseudo famous. I don't know how you would describe it. It's like people know about it, but it's not like nationally well known. We could probably pop a pair of shoes here. So I guess that happens every year. But other than that, yeah, it's super small, super boring. Everybody drives like 45 minutes to the next largest town, which is also relatively small compared to some of the bigger cities that most people probably live by, especially if you're from Europe. Unless you live, I don't know, like how much of Europe still has countryside, really? All right, get it. Time warp here until we splash down. All right, Emmykins says she wouldn't. I didn't say it was exciting. I said that's the closest thing to something exciting that happens here. That's just kind of how it is, right? Like, you live in a small town. Anything that happens is, by its very nature, exciting. But yeah, we don't get like concerts or anything fun like that. You got to drive all the way up to Minneapolis for that. And I'm not doing that. It's like a 2.5 hour drive. And splash down. So we have recovered, I guess, one of our pilots, and we got a new engineer here in John Lee, who was our rescue mission candidate. Alrighty. Let's take a look at some of these other missions that we have available, or that we've already taken, and see if there's anything that we want to do. Min-Miss rover, no. No. If we plant flag on Eve, that Kerbal's just going to live there forever. You didn't miss anything exciting, Emmykins, no. We just finished a rescue mission that we had started on Saturday. We could rescue Triton Kerman. Oh, that could be a good one. From Min-Miss. Do we need anything from Min-Miss? Science data from surface. That could be good if we send a Conquistador, the Munlander design. I suppose one of the things I need to check is our next transfer window with Eve. So why don't I do that right now, while things are still a little bit quiet here. So the transfer window planner. What day is it in the game? We're going from Kerbin, we're going to Eve, and it is year 2, day 283. The earliest we can launch is today. Next one is going to be year 3. Let me write this down so I don't forget. Year 3, day 402. Year 3, day 402. That is our next Eve window. Perfect. All right. So, I don't think we're going to be planting a flag on Eve ever. I would like to avoid doing that. But we can go ahead and rescue Triton. It'll be a nice, easy mission we can pull off, and we'll also grab that science data from the surface of Minmus. Science data from surface of the Mun. I wish we had a probe there, because that would be really easy. And yeah, we still got to do these Eve missions. This one has, yeah, 30 years left to go. We'll be fine. Let's prep a Munlander. Love the VAB music. It's so nice. A Munlander. Let's take a look if there's any cargo in here that we might want to take out. Probably take out the EVA stuff. I don't think we'll be needing that. Oh. Okay, we don't need to do any docking with this. But I just remembered that we unlocked or we have enough science to unlock the shielded docking port, which is a really nice part to have. And that'll also unlock the inflatable docking port, which I was thinking we could swap out. Although, is the inflatable docking port a junior? I think it's considered a junior size. So we maybe do not want that on our stations. Alright, so we'll just send a Munlander. Yeah, we got John Lee, that's good. Is there anything else we might need here? I don't think so. We'll just send Valentina out again, although, now that I'm thinking about it, some of our pilots could use some additional training. So maybe we'll send Kerbal along for the ride as well. And that'll be some good training for Kerbal. Alright. Get ready for launch. Make sure everything is as it should be. Oh, I suppose we should launch into Minmus inclination to save a lot of Delta V, right? I gotta remember to do that more often, because it's really expensive to change in. Oh, we might actually be there already. Wow, we're a little bit past it, huh? Maybe? We'll just wait for it to swing back around, I think. So to do this, you have to eyeball it, like, a lot. Basically gotta find, like, the intersect of Mun's orbit, because that's perfectly equatorial, and Minmus orbit, and then zoom in, and where they meet, you want KSC to be there, because that's basically your descending or ascending node. Beetle Rock, hey! How goes KSP? KSP goes well. We are recovering from Saturday's 12-hour stream and the Eve mission. I'm planning a second Eve mission because there's still some stuff that needs to get done out there. But in the meantime, we're just doing some easy missions in Kerbal space. So that's what we're doing today. Let's speed up time a little bit more. So I believe the X was like right here in the center. So we'll just go ahead and do that. I should also probably check if this is ascending or descending before we screw it up like last time. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, KSC, feel free to load anytime. Uh-oh. Okay. A little bit weird. Can't click on anything. But I can move around. Alright, we may have to quit to main menu here. Vulcan Rider. Vulcan Riders, the gang's all here now. If you're just joining us, you haven't missed much. We finished up a rescue mission that we had started. I haven't even stopped in on the Eve station yet. So we'll be doing that here shortly. All right, this is ascending, so we need to be going north. So let's go ahead and get the rocket on the pad. And get ready to rock. In a funk, huh? We'll beat a rock. I hope you work through that funk. And where is the... Not the crew transfer shuttle. It is the Munlander. Make sure we have the right crew. Sending Garley to get some training. He needs to plant flags on Mun and Minmus, and then we'll do a big solar excursion to get some extra experience. So here we go. We're going to want to turn north. Let me set Minmus as the target. Make sure we are in the right area. There we are. And where is it? There it is. Ooh, Vulcan Rider got to the moon and back. That's excellent. Make sure this is good. And let's go ahead and launch. Keeping in mind we are going slightly to the north. We're going to go ahead and switch to map mode and keep an eye on our descending node. We want to get it as low as possible, preferably to 0. But since I can't see the rocket, we have to be very careful. Luckily, this rocket's very stable, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. So we're doing that. Yeah, that's looking good. That's looking real good. All right, we'll keep it at about 45. Okay, there we go. Now we're just going to be shooting. We're getting a little bit of aerodynamics on us. We should be okay. This thing is, again, very aerodynamically stable, aside from the legs, but they're pretty compact. They don't stick out like some of the parts we have. And we just got to make sure that our... Oh, okay, now our ascending node is going the wrong way. We may have overshot a little bit. Let's bring it on back down. Ooh, we probably need to go up a little bit more now that I think about it. Yeah, that's not great. Kind of hard to juggle all these things at once. If that makes sense. Ooh, okay, there goes the poodles. And yeah, we're still kind of in the atmosphere. And by kind of, I mean like a lot. So here's hoping we can get out of it, right? Otherwise, we're going to have to abort the mission and give it another go. Yeah, thrust await's not great here. And let's check on the ascending node. Still not ideal. We are bringing it back up though, so let's just keep it right on 90. And hope that this gets us out of the atmosphere. This is one of the situations where having mech jib would be useful. But once again, no mods. I've never used mech jib, so I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be useful. I guess having something that auto launches for you is always going to have some benefits, right? Alright, let's see how we're doing. Things should get us to space. Our velocity is still increasing despite the atmosphere and the fact that our thrust await is below 1. We just got to keep on our eye on time to apoapsis. Let's keep an eye on that. those nodes again. 0.7 is terrible. The thrust to weight kills me. In JNSQ. What is JNSQ? I'm so used to the stock system, and 1500 extra meters per second at the end of every burn is like, well, let's go radial out for a minute. How are we doing on... Okay, it's starting to kind of level out. That's good, that's good. So ideally we'll have about 1,000 delta V left by the time we circularize. Because we need 930 to reach Minmus. A little extra wiggle room there to crash land our debris into the surface so it's not just flopping around. Speaking of debris, Savior 3 is still here. We might finish that up tonight. Or that'll be something I do off stream one of these times. Okay. So looks like we made it out of the atmosphere, no problem. Well, I shouldn't say no problem. I think we got a little toasty there. But we do have a pretty sweet inclination. And we can clean it up for very little delta V. So, there's the apoapsis. Still in the atmosphere, though. That's something we have to keep in mind. Can't quite time warp. We'd have to physics warp, and I'm not going to physics warp. In the atmosphere, that's asking for trouble. I know most people do it. I come from a time before physics warp. I don't trust it. Add that to the list. I'll let Urban Venture know next time he's streaming. Put it on the list. You don't trust physics warp either? I think Beetle Rock is saying that he doesn't trust physics warp. It's very... I don't know. It's one of those things that's just like, hey, do you like the Kraken? Like, instantly summons Kraken. I still kind of have a small heart attack when I see people warp in the atmosphere. Yeah, it's one of those things, right? Like, you learn it early. It even warns you when you do it, right? Like, things could break, be careful. Okay, if even the developers are like, well, you can do it, but we don't recommend it, then I'm gonna stay far away from it as much as I can. Yeah, do you want to be Kraken food? Trying to warp, it's like, it's just gonna summon the Kraken and then your ship's gonna blow up. Yeah, exactly. Because that's how you become Kraken food. Peter Rock has it right. Kindred spirits we are. Alright, well, we're almost out of the atmosphere anyway. So, today's topic of discussion. I know everybody has been waiting with bated breath. I still use Kerbal Engineer because I'm still not used to where stock delta V readings are. Really, I never started using Kerbal Engineer, so I always had to calculate my delta V by hand. That is not a joke. But now that it's in vanilla, I take a lot of advantage of it. It really helps me design better ships. All right, there we are. Go ahead and get pointed prograde. Make sure, yeah. We're good on power because I remember to put solar panels on, right? I did that right there. One on each side. So, today's topic, question, discussion, whatever of the day is, given a functionally unlimited amount of money, let's start with unlimited money, and 1 hour, What is the best pizza you could get? So let that rattle around in your mind cage for a bit. And then I want to hear what the best pizza you could get is in 1 hour with $1,000 from where you are right now. So whether you're ordering from Domino's or driving to a fancy restaurant, or I don't know, you've only got an hour, so it's not like you can fly in like a world-class pizza cook or something. Plus you'd have to get all the equipment. So let me know down in the comments. All right, so yeah, I don't think going through the airport is going to be your best bet for getting the best pizza. So Peter Rock saying, I live in Utah. It takes an hour to get through airport security. Yep. So that's out of the question because you'd also have to drive to the airport. Maybe if the airport itself has good pizza in one of the terminals, you could justify that. And we can play around with the variables a bit, but I wanted to start with something easy. Emmykin says, calculating it by hand means you get to use the bedazzled calculator. Well, I was using my school calculator for that. But yes, nowadays I could use the bedazzled calculator if necessary. So we get the ascending node, which means we're going to be descending. Means we want to burn anti-normal when we get there. Good to know. So, for me, ooh, that's a tough one. I feel like the best pizza I could get, I'd have to drive 45 minutes to the town that I mentioned earlier. And they have one of those like places that makes the brick oven style pizza, right? I'm thinking if I ordered ahead, I could get there in like just under an hour. Gandalf Lundgren. Hello, Gandalf Lundgren. Thanks for stopping in tonight. If you missed the topic of conversation this evening, we are trying to determine with unlimited money and 1 hour of time, what is the best pizza you could get? And I think the time is going to be the biggest kicker, because you could say, oh, I'll make it at home, but do you have all the ingredients on hand? Do you already have dough that's ready to cook? Because you can't just make pizza dough. It's got a set, right? Yep. Or it's got a proof. It's what they call it. Unlimited money, 1 hour. Yes, that is the current. Those are the current variables that we have input into this calculation. Okay, easy. You have it flown in on a private jet from Italy. No, because that would take more than an hour unless you live in Italy or nearby, right? Let's set up our transfer to Minmus. We have plenty of fuel here. This is excellent. Definitely one of our better Minmus launches for sure. And there we go. We have a little Mun encounter if we wanted. Go to the best local pizza joint, make them an offer they can't refuse, kick everybody out of the kitchen, make it myself. Okay, all right. All right, but is there, okay, and this is kind of important, right? Like location. Is there actually a decent pizza place by you? Because the places by me, living in a small town in Minnesota, you have Domino's, you have Papa Murphy's, you have a place called Pizza Ranch, and you have a place called Happy Joe's. And those are your options for pizza. Although I guess there's some restaurants that just have pizza too, but I mean, come on. Are you referring to the place that we went to that one time that was owned by a football player or whatever? Yes, that is the one. I think there's another one in town too now. But basically it's like a brick oven traditional pizza place, and I like that kind of pizza. The more it's lighter and crispier, in my opinion. And you can get it without red sauce and nobody looks at you funny. So, like, obviously, if you live in New York, your options are through the roof. Because, you know, there's like a pizza place on every block there. But if you live in, like, Chicago or something, you're stuck with Chicago pizza. So, no good pizza for you, I guess. Let's get into position. Oh, we're going to miss our burn because I was distracted again. Wonderful. It's probably fine, right? Let's get online. And then burn towards the target. Honestly, if I have an hour and their dough is okay, I can make a pretty bitchin' pizza. Alright. Alright. So Gandalf Lundgren is too far from New York to get airlifted. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, with unlimited money, you could arrange, like, a helicopter. I don't know if you could get one on, like, short notice. Chicago casserole, you mean? Yeah, the deep dish is kind of weird. It's under the sauce. It's under the sauce. Yeah. I mean, you know. As someone who likes pizza without sauce, I don't really care where the sauce is. I just prefer it to not be on the pizza at all. I'm a big fan of pizza margarita. He's back on cam. Yeah, I got the cam fixed. I had to download a new driver. Apparently there was an issue where it wouldn't connect, and now it is connected. So everything is bueno. Chicago deep dish is actively trying to kill me. Dingy. Actually, yeah, this is a good question for you because you live in a completely different part of the world. Given 1 hour and unlimited funds, what is the best pizza you could get? Ah, crap. Kind of biff that. Hang on. So let's head back in. Turn the thrust limiter way down. At like 2 should be good. There we go. We'll fix that. So, yes. So unlimited funds, 1 hour. You got to get the best pizza you can get. Also, how was the new Five Nights at Freddy's games treating you? I saw you playing it. Well, I don't remember what day it was. I didn't watch you today because I was doing something else. I don't remember what it was though. Or was it today that you were streaming? Right, let's go ahead and disconnect. Right, so that should be on its way to collide, and we should now be in a good spot. Go radial in. Put the thrust limiter on. Make sure the engine is going. All right, so best pizza I had is from a shop called Stefano's, and that's what I would get. All right. Last 3 streams have been Five Nights at Freddy's. It's a great game, but it rages me out. Boy, if you like games like that, have I got a suggestion for you. Wait, we want to be going radial in here. Oh yeah, perfect. Well, I hope that you're close to winning, because those Five Nights at Freddy's games are too spooky for me. Oh my goodness. Something has happened. Let me see what it is. Boba Chica Fella, thank you very much for the follow. You are follower number 69. Congratulations. I appreciate you. Disclaimer, you are not actually follower number 69, but everyone is follower number 69 in my heart. 71. We did actually hit follower 69 on Saturday. But now I just kind of want to keep the energy going. All right, so down to about there. Oh, and oh, it's a good thing I checked this, huh? Looks like our friendly Frightened Kerman is in a retrograde orbit. Why don't we go ahead and fix that while we're here? Luckily, we've got tons of Delta V to work with. All right, it's Dingy. Says, I've told a friend who is close to 69 gifted subs. After that, he's done. Yeah, I think, was that, Boyd? Yeah, it's one of those things where... Oh, crap. I'm overshooting this by, like, being dumb. We still want to be close to take advantage of the Oberth effect. As small as it is on Min-Miss, of course. 69 is the magic... It is the magic number. It's great. No matter how old you get, it's always going to be funny. So let's take a look at this thing's trajectory. And I sure hope it's going to hit Min-Miss. But we'll find out. And there we go. We will now warp. Hauser legit paid for his Discord number to be 6969. Wow. Like with Discord, or you like bought a Discord number from somebody else? That's kind of like when people... He paid to change... Oh, he paid to change it to that. Okay. Just thinking like back in the old .com days, you'd pay like tons of money to the person who... Or if you had something that somebody wanted, then they'd pay a lot of money to get the URL that you owned or whatever. Don't tell me this Munlander debris is gonna be doing something dumb. Boy has more money than sense. I mean, it sounds like he's got plenty of sense. Pretty soon he's gonna be the biggest streamer. Well, I don't know about biggest, like, because you can't beat Critical Role, right? But hey, you can get up to like XQC level, whoever that is. I will pay the person who has Dingy as their name to change it, but they don't respond to my DMs. Oh, speaking of that, we actually had Icy Starshard in here on Saturday. She came in. She followed specifically because of the name, which was cool. And I had seen her Twitch before when I was searching for my name. So that was kind of a fun little... I don't want to call it an Easter egg because it wasn't really intentional, but it was cool that she showed up. I think she does art. Isn't there like some kind of, if they're inactive for such and such long, you can take their name? You type Dingy and it's me who comes up. I mean, yeah, it's Dingy is probably more popular than just Dingy, right? Although you've changed your name a couple of times. My name has always been the same since forever ago. That's the fun thing about usernames, right? Like, some people use a different username for everything. Some people change it. Some people keep it the same forever. Some people just add numbers. If they're inactive for a while, then their account gets deleted. then the name will become available 6 months after that. Okay. Well, I don't think there's just a regular star shard, but I wouldn't want that anyway. I'm fine with the 0. I've always had it. So, here we are. We're going to go ahead and rendezvous with Triton's capsule. What a cool name. We'll go ahead and rescue them. And then we'll land on Minmus, get some science from the surface, which is one of our missions right now. And then now that we've got a few more people here, we can go check on the Eve orbit station and the probes and see if there's anything we want from there. Let's go ahead and go retrograde. We just need to circularize. Then we'll change our descending node. All right, come on. Come on. I think I turned the thrust limiter off. This thing just has a really wimpy engine. Although never mind, thrust to weight 9. Pretty good, although it is min-miss. Could be better. Just gonna bring it down like that. Perfect. And, oh, crap. Ah. Screwed it up, chat. So we need it to be around like 120,000. Like so. Yeah, that looks better. Keeping in mind we need to change our inclination to match theirs. So, Dingy says he would get his pizza from a local place. That's smart, that's smart. I said I would drive about an hour. Like within the hour, I should be able to get there and get the pizza. Vulcan Rider landed, Jeb on the Mun. Excellent. Now you gotta send a full team so you can do all the experiments. All right, we need a descending here. Oh, nope. That is wrong, I guess. Nope. Come on. Thought I clicked it. There we go. Just fix our inclination real quick. Did you post a picture of your lander on the Discord? Or the Urban Venture Discord, I guess? You could also post it on my Discord if you want. Although it's not strictly Kerbal related, so some of the people might not know how to help you. But it's a fun accomplishment, right? All right, you did post it. Guys, my water has ice in it. It's very cold. And I just had to eat some. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I thought I'd have more to say about it, but I do not. So, Dingy, when are you going to play some Kerbal Space Program? If you're still around. I know you're like a horror guy. But you could probably get a few streams out of this. A lot of explosions. Kind of a funny game. Everything looks like it's lined up now. So all we need to do, keeping in mind that we're kind of opposite of how I normally am. So this line's going to be moving tick, 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 tick. So let's get out to our intercept. All right. Emmykin says, when I made my Twitch account, I contemplated coming up with a different username, but ended up sticking with Emmykins22 because I've been using that for everything since forever. but you're not streaming, so it's not as big of a deal. Vulcan Rider says, I'm going to try to head for another biome if I can find one. Yeah, so each crater is its own biome. And then there's also the Midland, which is like everything that's not a crater. But there's also Highlands, and then there's like the polar regions. I don't remember exactly because I usually just stick to the equatorial craters. There's also the Canyon, which if you're on the far side crater, you'll kind of see it going off to the east. But yeah, if you have enough delta V in your little lander there, you can hit multiple biomes in one trip, which is really efficient for getting science. All right, so let's go ahead and point prograde here. And our goal is going to be, as usual, get these as close as possible. You have 1,400. Okay, well, keep in mind you need about, what was it, like 1,100 to head back? I don't remember the exact number. So it's bigger than I like, but not terrible. All right. Do this. That's just making things worse, isn't it? Maybe we can get it like exactly half. And it'll be like 2 trips. Let's get those intersects lined up. The one thing about Minmus is that it takes so long to do these orbital rendezvous when you're this far out because you're going so slow. Like it's going to take us an hour to get up here and then another hour to get back here. And that's just to get it sort of lined up, right? Right, this should be the one where we're able to do it, though. Yeah, 1,400 delta V should be enough to do a quick hop, I think. All right. Probably do another orbit and see where we end up. And then go from there. And here we go. There we go. Is that going to help us? Do we need to speed up or do we need to slow down? We need to slow down. Let's slow down. Perfect. Yeah, once they get a little closer, we'll be able to see our relative velocity. It should not be huge. Because again, we are at Minmus. So yeah, relative speed, like, it's going to be around 15. Perfect. So now we just do one more orbit and we should be able to rendezvous with our new friend Triton. And then we can do a quick landing on Minmus. And yeah, we've got 2,700 delta V. I think we'll be all right. We are approaching. Basically, all we need to do here is cancel our velocity. They should be somewhere out here. There they are. So, hope everybody is set for a fun New Year's, since that's coming up this week. What day? Saturday, Sunday, maybe? I keep forgetting to check the calendar. And I do believe I have that day off. But I don't know what day exactly it is. So if you know, please tell me in chat so I can plan for streaming if there's a stream. It is Saturday. Okay. Wait, I suppose New Year's Day is always a week after Christmas, right? Like, because of how those holidays work. All right, good to know. So this Saturday, New Year's, I don't think I'm doing another 12-hour stream. That was kind of a treat. But you can't have treats all the time or you'll get a tummy ache. Alright, Vulcan Rider's big problem is figuring out what direction the ship is turned. Your directions are wonky, and the way you control your views in the map is wonky. What do you mean it's wonky? You gotta use the nav ball. That's what I do. Eve equals Eve, day equals day, 1 week apart. Okay. So New Year's Eve is on a Friday. That's pretty cool. What a fun year this has been. So there is our friend. Let's go ahead and go greet them. Adjusting our heading. Perfect. I try and keep the 90 side of the nav ball on the right, just like when I'm on the launch pad. Okay, yeah, you can do that. It does keep things simpler. So assuming you were in a counter or you'd be in a clockwise orbit of, no, counterclockwise. Assuming you're in a counterclockwise orbit, you're launching into a counterclockwise orbit. Yeah, you would want to launch east. So 90. So unlike my Eve station, which is in a clockwise orbit because it's wrong, most of my ships are in a counterclockwise orbit because that is right. All right. Grab Triton here. Triton is a scientist. Oh, and a lady scientist. How progressive. All right. Down we go into the Munlander. This is actually, well, actually we didn't bring any science stuff, so it doesn't matter that she's a scientist. Let's go ahead and deorbit ourselves. Yeah. Beetle Rock and Gandalf Lundgren have the right idea. If you want to keep things real simple, keep things equatorial at all times, and always have it so 90 degrees is to your right on the nav ball. The nav ball doesn't update as you rotate around the ship. I mean, that's true. Do you want it to? Like, I usually rotate my ship to suit my needs. Like, if I'm coming in for a landing, which I'm about to do, so I'll show you. Go. I will turn it, so with the legs down, I want to have the door facing down, or the hatch facing down, relative to my direction of travel. And hang on. Like this. So it's going to land like this, right? I want the legs pointed down, although obviously I have to burn retrograde to slow down. So I'll have it like this, and then as I start burning, it'll slowly orient itself towards radial out. Launchpad is different from the featurelessness of the Mun. That's true. That's what you got to rely on the nav ball for the most part. All right, so we got Triton. Let's go ahead and time warp a bit. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Yeah, I'm not sure why it would matter if it's featureless. As long as you're landing on the equator, it shouldn't matter where you land. All right, we are coming for the ridge here, actually. Okay, I think we want to land, yeah, around here would be good. Let's go ahead and stop time warping. And switch retrograde. All right. It seems like everyone is in agreement. with regards to how you should orient yourself. Wish I had followed that advice when I did the Eve mission, because now no matter what I do, future Eve missions are going to have to come in to a retrograde orbit. I mean, it's not like I'm launching ships off the surface that need to rendezvous, right? Anything that's going to Eve is going to be a one-way mission. The way being down. You have a weird orbit, but you could fix your orbit if you needed to. Are you going clockwise or counterclockwise? That's the big one. And it's not even that big of a deal, like, depending on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to land, it doesn't matter too much. It just affects where you need to burn from to return to Kerbal. So we're going to try to land right here on, I believe this is the Greater Flats. It's either the Great Flats or the Greater Flats. I don't see flag. So, I guess we will never know. All right. So I will orient myself the way that I always do when I'm landing, so you can kind of see my strategy. All right, engines, let's go. We want to land right about there-ish. That should be good. So coming in this way, right? Oh, so I'm already oriented the way I want to. Oh no. So I want this thing, I want the hatch pointed toward me, because then if I press A, I'll tilt this way. If I press D, I'll tilt this way. And those are the ways that you're probably used to launching with from Kerbal, right? So left, right, north, and then pull back for south. So if I was coming in from the other direction, I just flip it to the side. So I'd be going this way. And then if I wanted to tilt right, I would push right. If I wanted to tilt left, I'd push left. Forward, backwards. Easy. Oop. Another wrong way. There we go. Yeah, you just have to spin the craft the way you want it. All right. There we are. Let's turn on ground radar. And unfortunately, I don't think we can speed it up. This is so funny. Big, bad, balded beard, macho dude with pink kitty headphones. I wouldn't consider myself macho. I think the rest of those are correct. But hopefully the gimmick is entertaining enough that people enjoy the stream. And if it's not, then I guess I'll just get some other headphones and give these back to Emmykins. My use of them was supposed to be temporary, because my old headset was garbage. I'd start thinking about slowing down. Just a hint. Not too much. I think our thrust to weight, it's only 3.4. That's still pretty darn good. We enjoy the Kerbalification. Yes. You are turning into a Kerbal as we speak. I gotta remember to look at the camera more. Hello, everyone. I keep looking. So, okay, so here's how this setup is. That camera is here. Chat is like between the camera and my monitor. So whenever I'm looking down, just pretend I'm looking at you if I'm talking to chat. I guess I could... Ooh, can I move it over this way? Then you guys would just see me looking down, and no, the cable doesn't go that far. So That's just how it's going to be, I guess. Also, speaking of which, tomorrow I have a few follow-up WikiHow articles that we're going to be looking at. I don't know if they're as good as last week's, but they're still pretty funny. And then after that, I don't know what I'm going to be doing on Tuesdays. Maybe we can look at some more SCPs or like classic creepypastas. You guys are familiar with Jeff the Killer, or like Slenderman is a creepypasta, but it's not really like a written creepypasta. It was more of like a picture thing. All right, let's slow it on down. We don't want to crash today. We're gonna save that for a different day. So we'll have Garely hop out here and plant a flag. We don't have a flag planting mission, do we? The Kerbals look happy. Yeah, I think they're having a good time. Everything's going smoothly. Oh man, more WikiHow. I should have asked for a new notepad for Christmas. Well, listen, I'll get you the links if you want them. I think tomorrow's are going to be interesting, to say the least. And thanks, Urban Venture, for stopping in. Always appreciate a visit from the master of Kerbals. I'll have to show you, because I don't remember if you were here much for Saturday, but we did get the station into orbit. It's in a retrograde orbit, and it didn't match the mission parameters because we added stuff to it with the probes. So we're gonna have to send another mission that is basically the exact same and do that. But hey, I get like 500,000 spaces out of the deal. I'm not gonna complain too much. All right, go ahead and land this time. So when I land, if I'm landing at the equator, Vulcan Rider, pay attention. I like to align myself just as if I was landing on the launch pad. So you're pointed north. 90 east is to the right. 270 west is to the other side. Oh, kind of funky looking here. Should be fine. And then you should have no issues controlling your vessel. All right, there we go. Nice and easy. You probably won't be on for a couple of days. Oh no. So no streaming or no watching? Because you're watching right now. I don't know if you're aware. Let's check and see if we can get a flag mission, because that would be awesome. Ooh, science data from Surface Vive. I'll take that one. All right, well, no flag. All right, yeah, you guys you enjoy her time off. I'm enjoying my time off as well. By streaming. Not really time off. What is this? So we can get rid of Triton's capsule. And the Munlander debris is gonna smash itself into Kerbin, so we don't have to worry about that. Possibly an alien stream this morning. I did. I was in there, so I did see Vulcan in there. Oh, she felt guilty about taking over Urban Ventures time slot. Okay. Yeah. Can't believe she's just doing Mass Effect every day. I guess she does art on Tuesdays. But that's so much of one game. Alright, so we just need science data from here. So let's go ahead and get a crew report. Oh, we haven't done this one yet. This is the Greater Flats. so that mission is done. Kerbal, go ahead and plant the flag. Oop. But we have not been here yet. Oh, we have not been here yet at all. Perfect. Extra science. So this is what? Say Greater Flats. Let's plant a flag. Greater Flats. And this is Kerbal. Kerbal was here. Good work, Kerbal. Get back in the ship. Up. And in. Alright, so Vulcan. So since I've positioned myself in this position, really all I have to do to lift off, and let me check here first before I do anything. Alright. Is start the engine and then point east, and that'll get me into orbit. So when you're landing, all I can recommend is that you land with that orientation for maximum. Oh, hang on. I forgot to grab some temperature scans. All right, guys, go back. Go back. Luckily, we have a ton of Delta V. I feel like we could just hop around Minmus all day if we wanted. But we don't have time. We have Eve to check on. So, Urban Venture, I should have asked you. Actually, it may have been, I might have ordered it before I started watching you. What kind of microphone style, or like whatever it's called? Because this is a dynamic mic, which picks up everything by design. But I was reading about different types of mics, and apparently for like noisy environments, it's better to get some other kind of mic. And I feel like I've seen you using one that has a pop filter. I'm guessing it's the same type. Rock used to hold the record for legendary permadeath Skyrim speedrun. Oh. Wow, that's impressive. I have a shotgun mic with a lot of custom filters. Oh yeah, I have a bunch of filters set up too. It took me a while to get this so that it picked up my voice, but not the myriad sounds of my ancient house. And even then, I'm constantly worried that it's either not picking up my voice or it's picking up weird sounds. So please let me know if anything sounds weird so I can troubleshoot it after the stream. And Vulcan Rider, of course, feels sorry for his poor Kerbals. Can't manage to land them with RCS. I can get some loft on them, but the landings involve hitting and bouncing and rolling and falling. I don't know that you should be using RCS to land. The pop filter is just because I personally make a lot of noise on my T's, P's, and S's. I do too. I don't know if the pop filter is doing anything though. That was one of the things I noticed when I was listening to my streams back, is my plosives were very plosive. Alright. Come on, Apple Apps, let's go. There we go. Up, let's go up to 10. Just to be safe. Alright, so we got all the science that we wanted from Minmus. Alright, so let's check. We need surface data from the MUN. Science data from surface of Eve. We can go check in on the probe and see how that thing's doing. And we need to send another station that is basically the exact same as the one we already sent. We need to get Triton back to the KSC. Pop filter just stops that from blowing out the sound and causing that wind sound. Beta Rock says, your setup sounds pretty good. Thank you. I want to take streaming seriously, but at the same time I'm kind of limited by my environment. I've crammed myself into a corner of my living room. This space was never designed to be like a sound booth. There's an AC vent like directly below my desk. My kitchen is behind this wall, and there's a refrigerator that makes noise you can hear throughout the entire house. I think I just need to get a new refrigerator. Well, if you guys are saying so, then I'll trust your judgment. I had a hard time getting it to where I could hear it. You got to do the monitor thing, right? And I'm completely new to audio visual stuff. So I'm basically on YouTube tutorials like, what do I need to do? I need to add a filter. What is a noise gate? When I was podcasting, I had a Shure SM58. I think I heard those recommended when I was looking for mics. The Shure. This is a AT2020, I think. USB. They make an XLR one, and of course I don't know what any of that means. And Beta Rock has the SM57 for his stream. All right. I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what specifically it is, as long as you've got it set up properly, right? Like you can make a bad mic sound good, or a good mic sound bad if you don't know what you're doing. Ooh, the AT2035. Ooh, living in the future. Can we time warp yet? We can, alright. Let's time warp. And hope that we don't slam into these hills going 167 meters per second. I think we're just gonna miss them. Great view though, look at that. We're heading up to 10,000 meters. 10 kilometers is not 10,000 kilometers. The SM57 and SM58 are really legit. I think the president still used them for speeches. Oh, wow. High praise. Yeah, I basically just grabbed the first mic that anyone recommended. Like at first I was using the Kitty headset, right? Which was just the headset mic, which I guess sounded all right once I put some filters on it. But if I ever go into like doing YouTube stuff, which I do have a plan for actually. I have one YouTube video that I want to make once I learn how to do video editing and machinima and audio editing. I slammed into the mountains on Mun because at night it's blacker than the coal sack. Yeah, you definitely want to be landing on the light side, right? Because generally you're able to choose your landing site, so pick a bright side. All right, out to 10 kilometers. I guess it doesn't really matter. Just heading back anyway. And look at that, we're right where we need to be. Okay. Let's increase that a bit. And then we'll play with our timing. Oh my goodness. What just happened? Captain Price 07, thank you very much for the follow. You are follower number 69. I can't believe it. Chat, it finally happened. But actually, your number... Wait. I don't actually know. I can't see the numbers. Somebody tell me, chat. Go back and forth. Yep. 208. 181. Oh. We're going to be coming in polar here, it looks like. Number 72. Congratulations. And if not 72, then 73. Somewhere around there. No. Don't feel bad. Everyone is follower number 69 in my heart. And then... Okay, we found the right spot. So we just need to burn right around there. That seems a little harder than I was expecting. You were almost there. Yeah, if you'd have been here on Saturday. Oh, possibly an alien has me on mute. Yeah, sucks that your parents came back. I mean, you know, not that they're stuck there, but like, I don't know. Enjoy your time with your parents. It's cool that you're in a good enough part in your life where you're on good terms with your parents. All right, let's do the burn. What else happened? Okay. So Vulcan Rider says, I was on the surface and wanted to go to another place, so I thought I would go to somewhere on the light side. So you ended up crashing because you got greedy? Is that what happened? You dug too greedily and too deep? Alright, here we go. Probably turn that off now. Just keep an eye on it manually. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there it is. Not quite. A little bit more. And there it is. I'm gonna get a new Les Paul and then I'll be good at guitar. That is how it works, right? Like, the better your equipment. You guys are having a great conversation about audio stuff. A couple of guys suggested to me not investing too much into your stream too early on, as it may be a long wait to see any return on investment. That is the same advice that I got, yeah. So I had like a budget, like this is how much I'm willing to invest now, and I already hit that. So any additional improvements are contingent upon me being a successful streamer. We'll say that much. So Vulcan Rider says, no, because it was too dark to see where I was going and I burned upward, but apparently not enough. I reverted. Yeah, that's good. Reverting is good. It's fine. I don't do it now because I'm, you know, this is like a challenge, right? But when you're learning, it's very useful to have quick saves, quick loads, all very useful things. A small mixing board. Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about audio mixing outside of like OBS. So getting a separate board, I don't know that would do much for me right away. I'd have to learn how to actually take advantage of it. I am interested in getting a capture card, however, so I could stream Switch games maybe. I have a Switch. I have a PS2 around here somewhere. Looking at the wall, it's not over there, obviously. But I do have a Switch. I couldn't play Animal Crossing, so that one's out. Because Emmykins has her game going on the Switch. But I guess I could do like Breath of the Wild or something. I don't know if that's like, is that a good game for streaming, you guys think? I don't even have it on Switch. I have it on the Wii U. You guys remember the Wii U? Urban Venture is setting up a cap. Did you get it for Christmas? Unless you have more than 2 audio inputs, you probably don't need one. Okay, yeah, I know. I don't have... My audio inputs are the mic, and that's it. Let's go ahead and set up a alarm here. Warp. Yeah, this is a pretty highly eccentric orbit. And the game. Well, the game is... That's just my desktop audio, right? So I guess if you're saying if I had multiple sources. But yeah. That, you can do all that in OBS. If I had like another external source, like if I had music coming off of something, then maybe, or if, I guess you could like run it out of the desktop and then run it through the mixer. I don't know. What are you gonna do with the capture card? Are you gonna play some console games, or I don't know, get another computer so you can use one for gaming and one for streaming? I've seen people do that. That seems kind of opulent, maybe. Like, oh, look at me, I'm so rich, I have a computer that is just a streaming computer, and then I have another separate gaming computer. Maybe that's the way to do it though, right? For maximum quality stream. All right, there's Kerbal. Also, in case you guys haven't seen my shirt, it says coolest cat dad. Cat dad's at the bottom. If you're wondering about that. I want to say it was a Christmas gift or maybe a birthday gift. But usually I don't wear t-shirts, so I guess I'll get a chance to get some use out of them now that I'm wearing them on stream. Normally I'm either in my work clothes or in pajamas, or workout clothes if I'm walking to work or walking home from work. Okay, so Urban Venture saying Xbox games. See if you can offset some of the piece. Okay. He's gonna play, Theodore Rock says he's gonna play the console version of KSP. He's still better on console. Who was it? Somebody was saying, it must have been in your stream, that they were playing on console. I don't remember exactly who. But that's impressive. I wouldn't want to try a game like this on console. It's this kind of stuff and like real-time strategy games, right? That the controller just does not lend itself well to handling. Like I'm moving this around, I can click on things. Like trying to do that with a controller just feels so clunky. You were playing on console? Okay, you were playing on console. The build mode on console is tough, Urban Venture says. I believe it. I mean, it's hard enough on PC. I can't imagine trying to throw a limited number of buttons. Like when I think of all the times that I've like tried to get the camera to do what I want, it's hard enough with a mouse and a keyboard. Like with a controller, you're limited to what you can actually do. Let's begin our re-entry. Should go pretty well. We're only going 3,200 meters per second, so should be just fine. We got a heat shield. It is fun to fly a plane around and just use it like an RC plane on the sofa. Hey, I could see that. Like, the flight mode I could see working, like just standard flight, nothing fancy, right? because it's an analog stick, which is pretty easy to fly with already. And I will give that to the consoles. They have the superior flight controls, unless you have like an actual joystick, right? But the rest of the game, there's so much of it tied up in building. All right. Urban Venture, have you played any Balsa model flight sim? That would be super fun on the controller. See what Urban Venture has to say about that. Seen EJ playing it. Looked great fun. You know what game I used to play? It's not quite a flight sim, but it was like a flying game. There was a game on the Mac long ago, back in the day, like the Apple II or whatever. I played it in class. I'll explain about that in a second. But basically, it was a game where you flew a paper airplane around a house. It was like a 2D, kind of a side scroller, but you were flying a paper airplane. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Do I have to look this up? But it was essentially a platformer, but you were a paper airplane. All right, Urban Venture knows about this. And I'm sure they had it on Windows too, but the computers that we had in class were Apples, I believe. Anyway, the reason that I played it was because this would have been like 3rd grade, I think. If you finished your work in class, you could go play the game until the end of the session or whatever. I don't remember the exact thing, but I would always lie and say that I finished my work so I could go play the games. And now I'm a streamer on the internet, so stay in school, kids. You got in trouble at school for installing that on the PCs without asking. Yeah, why does everybody get so fussy about installing games? Like, if you're smart enough to install a game on the computer, you're smart enough not to break it in the process, right? Well, I think we can physics warp here. Although, I mentioned this earlier, Urban Venture, you have another thing to add to the list. I don't trust physics warp. Add it to the list. I use it in limited situations, but I do not trust it. Kabonk. Yep. Everybody's okay. They're not as happy anymore because they're back on Kerbal. All right, he's adding it to the list as we speak, chat. If you guys get a chance, if you love Kerbal stuff, head over to Urban Ventures channel at some point. So it sounds like he's not streaming for a bit, but great fun. A lot of Kerbal stuff. My list is over there of things that I do not trust. I don't even remember what all's on there anymore. Base planes, surface bases, wheels. Prepare a satellite. Yeah, let me just send something out to the sun station. That'll be easy. Rescue Ted G from orbit of the Mun. Finish construction of a rover. We're not doing that. All right, let's go ahead and check on our Eve mission. Rovers, wheels, robotics, unmanned crafts, planes, SSTOs, and physics warp. Yep, that sounds about right. If I come up with any more, I'll let you know. Okay, this should have definitely crashed into the surface of Kerbal by now. You know, we'll just leave it. We got to go check on the Eve station. Yeah, Beetle Rock doesn't like physics warp either. Like I said, I played the game before it existed. And considering the little pop-up that comes up when you try to use it, it's like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? Do you know what you're doing? It could be bad. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna need to put... when we send out our upgraded version of this, the Eve Station 2, I think we're going to put the bigger relays on it. Because I'm noticing right now that we're not getting the level, and they're combinable, right? So, but even with 2 relays, we're not quite getting good signal. And it's, like, if we get any farther away, which we are here as we go, we're gonna not be able to talk. So while we're here, let's check on the science. We have a little bit. Can we get any more? No. All right, let's go check on the Eve Inspector then. Which is landed over here. Yeah, it should say, would you like to awaken the Kraken? Somebody make a mod for that. I hope one day the list fills the entire chat wall. I don't know that there's enough things in KSP that it would fill all of chat. But maybe someday. So here's our little rover, our lander. It was supposed to land over there, but as you can see, it landed over here in the Explodium Sea. Luckily, it is mostly intact. Only one of the solar panels broke off. Is my tracking station fully upgraded yet? No, but I guess I should probably do that before I make any changes, right? Okay, hang on. We're not... Oh no! Because we're on the far side. Ah, crap. Okay, let's... I guess we'll do a couple of orbits here and see if we can't get a signal. Here's our Gilly probe, which is now just an Eve probe because we doesn't have enough Delta V to get to Gilly. So the mission was mostly a success. We got the station out here, but at the same time, we didn't get the reward for doing so. And we also didn't get the probes exactly where we wanted them. This one's fine, splashdown. This one didn't have enough Delta V, like I said. I would say overall it was a success, but some follow-up stuff we need to do. Alright, what is going on here? The antenna is sticking out. Are we not getting anything? Oh, there we go. Alright, now's our chance. Quick, send it, send it. Alright, we got it. Wait. Oh no, does this not count as the surface? No, it should. There we go. Alright. That's right. I think this stuff was from the atmosphere. I'm gonna say, if being on the Explodium Sea doesn't count as being on the surface, there's gonna be a problem. But luckily it does, so not a problem. Alright, it's not fully upgraded. How much? 1 million? Is that a 250G? Oh, and that'll unlock the asteroids and stuff, right? Yeah, that's fine. I think we have enough money. Although, we do need to save up now for the science. Are we getting crazy storms up here in Minnesota? Not really. We got a little bit of snow, but nothing, like, crazy like I would like. Alright, so we're going to get Advanced Metalworks for 2 very important parts, the shielded docking port and the modular girder segment extra large. And then we're going to grab some dumplings. And we also need... Do we need composites for anything? Inline Clampetron is pretty good. Although it's mostly for space planes, I think. Yeah, we're not going for the very heavy rocketry. Envious of what, the snow? It's not that much. I wouldn't be envious. It, like, all melted already. All right. Do we want to do scanning? I remember what we needed. We wanted the bigger relay. And I guess we could get an improved, smaller probe design. All right, so let's head back and see how the Eve Inspector is doing with regards to communication. No, Eve Station. Okay, so it is currently on the far side of Eve. So this would actually be good if we had two stations that could kind of talk to each other, maybe. Kind of offset them a little bit. We got like 3 inches of snow in the last half hour. Not psyched about it, huh? Vulcan Rider grew up in Illinois, so knows how to drive in snow. But as he always says, it's not the first flake falling from the sky that scares me, it's the one steering with steering wheels in front of them. Yes, those flakes are the ones you need to worry about. Yeah, I don't know how so many people forget how to drive in snow within like under a year, right? Like if the last time it snows is in March or April, and then it snows again in like November, how could you forget everything that you presumably had already known at that point? All right, so I think we're just gonna get rid of this maneuver node at least. Oh, control is locked. Okay, I guess we're gonna wait then until control is unlocked. Most of them have the same problem driving in snow, in dark or wet or sunshine. What's up, bro? How you doing? How are you doing? I'm doing all right. Just enjoying a little bit of Kerbals. You're good? That's good. Yo, Jesse. All right. So I think now that we've upgraded the tracking station, the communication's a little bit better. I imagine it's going to get degraded over time either way until we get a better relay out here. So why don't we actually take a little bit of time tonight and start working on an upgraded version of the Eve Station. You just bought this game on Xbox? Oh no. We were just talking about playing on console. I highly recommend snagging it on PC. It's still on sale on Steam. But if you want to try to brave the console version, then good luck to you. All right. Nothing interesting here. Build a new surface outpost. Let's see. This one doesn't sound too bad, actually. All it needs is 5 Kerbals, a cupola. So that's just a whatchamacall. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jesse J92. You are follower number 69. Congratulations. You don't have a PC? Oh, that sucks, man. Can't use a mouse and keyboard on Xbox. That's a good question. Because it just has a USB hookup, right? No, doesn't have a mouse and keyboard either. Makes sense. If you don't have a PC, why would you have a mouse and keyboard, right? All right, to the vehicle assembly building. We're going to make Eve Station version 2.0. Where is it? Untitled Eve Station. This is the one. All right, first things first. We're going to swap these out for the bigger girders, the extra large. Like so. So it's all in one piece. Then we're going to put the power things on there. Beautiful. And I think we actually need to fix the actions now. Wait, why can we not put action groups on here? Am I dumb? All right, Urban Venture, maybe you can explain this to me. Why I can't make any action groups. I was able to do it before. Very strange. Oh well. Select the part first. Oh. Oh, thanks. Wow. I am the dumb. Thank you very much. All right, so now one should extend. And these fold out. I guess we should test that again, right? Now that I changed it. Extend. That looks good. We're going to replace these. We're going to get rid of the Verners because we never used them anyway, and they're just extra mass we don't necessarily need. Put the big relay antenna on there. Two of these guys. Make sure we get it centered. Looks good. And one thing that I wanted to do, and Urban Venture, I might need your help on this one, is I want to put some of these thingies here. Oh wait, oh, it's working. All right, I guess I don't need help. No. I don't want them to be clipping though. That looks like garbage. Maybe I could just do 4. Like that. No, that looks dumb too. I'll just get rid of them. Oh, I was gonna put batteries. That's what I was gonna do. A lot of stuff going on in chat. Certainly asking the right guy for advice on balls. Yeah, I know, that's why I asked, right? I need the expert. Ball expert. Alright, so there we go. Added some extra battery power. What else do we need? Don't even want to know. Look at all those balls, guys. Wow. All I have are some beans. Alright, so Urban, I've seen your station design. Do you have any pointers for my station design? And don't worry. The launch stage does get this thing into orbit pretty stably. Alright, what does it say? Maybe launch in 2 sections? I can't. Part of the mission is launching all in one, right? Must be fully assembled when launched. So, whatever we're launching, this is what it is. And it needs to, so it needs to house 12 Kerbals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 8 is 13. But it needs to have a cupola, so that's on there. It has the processing lab. And it has an antenna. It has power. And it is fully assembled when launched. So it matches everything that we need. The Delta V is solid. Kind of a beast. We've got it auto strutted all the way down, of course, for obvious reasons. All right, is there anything else that we want to add to this? I guess if we use this design in the future, it'll be useful to just have a couple of experiments on hand already. Just throw some mystery goo on there. kind of bummed. I guess we could theoretically put like a Science Junior on one of the docking ports, but I don't think it would look very good. Ooh. The seismograph has to be on the ground, right? So we can't actually run that in space. Oh, and the magnetometer boom. That could actually be kind of useful. Put that up here. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, we don't need two of those. Crap, we don't need two of any of those. Turn off symmetry. Do it like this. Put all the science is off to the right, like so. Do those antennae allow data transfer? Yes, I think. They should. This is when transmitting. Does it say? Oh, data transmitter, yeah. They work as data transmitters. Yeah. So we've been able to relay back with the other one. This is just to have bigger relay antennas because the other one was small. We've added some extra power. Wonder if it's worth adding more power. How much power does it have? Doesn't even tell me. What the heck? I guess I could put it on the launch pad and see. You're kind of interested in seeing the arrow drag on launch? Alright. How do you gather scientific data from Kerbal? So all you need to do is put like a pod on the launch pad. I'm not sure exactly how it works in console. Basically, you build a vessel that's just a pod, put a Kerbal in it, and then launch it. It'll just sit there on the launch pad, but you should be able to select it somehow and do a crew report, and that counts as scientific data. All right, so we can actually probably launch this tonight, although it's not going to be going to Eve, I don't think. But if Urban Venture wants to see the aerodynamic / drag, then I see no reason not to give it a shot. We will have to refuel it in orbit like we did with the other one. Who's going to be driving this? Valentina, of course. The only Kerbal I trust to launch something this ridiculous. It's not Jeb, because Jeb's dead, as we all know. Everything looks good. Double check. Parachute missing. Yeah, that's fine. All right, let's give it a go. Oh yeah, also have him jump out and do an EVA report. Yeah, and keep in mind you can't, if you're doing regular career, you can't do surface samples until you've upgraded the astronaut center. All right, so let's make sure everything looks good. All right, everything looks good to me. Nothing has changed except for a couple of parts, so there we go. And away we go. Ooh. You're doing career? All right, yeah. So you'll be able to do crew report and EVA reports, but you won't be able to do surface samples. But I can't help you with the specific controls because I don't know how it works on the consoles. Oh boy. A little bit wobbly, but it's not as bad as some of our earlier prototypes of these types of stations. I think we can get a little more aggressive with it. Oh, too aggressive, too aggressive. Oh god, all right. Going for a spin. Flip. Don't worry, Valentina's got this under control, everyone. She knows what she's doing. Oh, oh, oh. We're going the other way now? Alright, flipping the other way. Ooh. Can you imagine this happening in like a real space launch? Oh. Oh, she's going for a triple. Yippee! I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. There we go. That should bring it back under control, maybe? Alright, we're good now. Alright, so I got a little overzealous with the gravity turn there, but I think otherwise we're fine. We have enough delta V to get this thing into orbit for sure. There we go. Everything's fine. You just missed the... You may have noticed the flipping Emikins that just happened. But other than that, everything should be good on this launch. We're launching the new version of the Eve station. Yeah, science is definitely the best option. I'm just catching up with you guys. Science is a better starting point than full career, since you don't have to worry about money, which can be kind of hard to come by if you don't know what you're doing exactly. Obviously, I'm playing hard career, which has some modifiers to it that make it much harder, as well as preventing you from reverting or quick saving and loading. I would start with Scott Manley tutorials before anything. Flips are just a flex to show off spare Delta V. Sure, yeah. I think Valentina just wanted to demonstrate that she still got it. And yeah, there should be plenty of Delta V in this thing. It was designed to be refueled before transferring. Hence the docking ports. Although I do need to remember to enable crossfeed when refueling. Alright, so we'll get this thing up to about 80 kilometers. Oh! So, I think we have a few more people than we had before. I'm gonna re-ask the question of the night. And that is, given unlimited funds and 1 hour of time, what is the best pizza you could get a hold of? Unlimited funds, 1 hour of time. I look forward to your answers. Ooh, gonna need to adjust our angle a bit here so we don't end up dipping back into the atmosphere. Got science. We're just going to need to do a couple of crude launches to get everything fueled up. And add the... Actually, honestly, we don't need to add any crew except for a replacement pilot to swap out with Valentina. Valentina's not going to Eve. It's too valuable. What do you mean by 1 hour of time? Basically, you have 1 hour from, like, getting the funds to do anything. So imagine you're where you are now, and I just said you have infinite money to get a hold of a pizza in 1 hour. What is the best pizza you could get? One of Perez's Pizza in Camden, London, I would imagine. All right. So there you go. You can get there in an hour and get a pizza within an hour. It would be close, but I reckon I could. All right, that's fair. Do they have good pizza there? And this is also kind of what I was getting at with the question, is like, what is the best pizza place near you? But I wanted people to get creative with it if they wanted. Am I the only one so far that comes away with a pizza and a pizza joint? Well, you don't get to buy the pizza or the pizza joint. You only get to buy the pizza or the ingredients for the pizza. The stipulations of the challenge are you get a pizza. If you spend money on anything besides pizza or pizza ingredients, or transportation of said pizza, or transportation of yourself to said pizza, then you don't get to keep it. Alright, so here is our station. Made it into orbit. A little bit of Delta V to spare. Now we just need to extend. Okay, press 1. There they go. Let's make sure these are in the right spot. We do not want any clipping, but I am not seeing any clipping, so it should be good. Can I buy an SR-71? Yes. If you can get a hold of an SR-71 within an hour, get it transported to your location, and then get a ride on it. But again, you still only have an hour. You don't have any, you'd have 0 prep time to like make any orders. Once the hour starts, that's when you can start. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, add that part in too. You have to know how to fly it. You have to figure out how to get it started. You have to get it to you, or you have to get to it. So if you know someone nearby that owns an SR-71, I guess you could borrow it, right? Alright, so let's get a... I guess let's make sure this is all good before we ship this off to Eve, right? So we've got science. And can we... We've got fuel. Got power. Does this match everything? Okay, so this matches everything we need. All we need to do is fuel it up. A Falcon 9 with Dragon on top can get anywhere in the world in, what, 20 minutes? Yeah, but how long does it take to launch it? Alright, so... I'm glad you guys are getting creative, but I'm going to keep throwing curveballs at you because even if you get to Cape Canaveral, if there's not a launch scheduled, they're not going to have a Falcon 9 fueled up on the pad, ready to go. A few seconds, if it's not fueled, fully loaded, and you're not in it, you're sitting at home in your underwear watching my stream. Alright, so... Parasatellite, no. None of these are useful. I don't want any of these. This is why I go to the local joint and buy the place. Alright. I mean, you have to give it back when you're done. You don't get to keep it. You can pay them to let them use their equipment to make your pizza. Oh, we're not launching another one of these. We need a crew transfer shuttle, standard edition, with the new upgraded shielded docking port. There it is. Beautiful. And then this thing just kind of like pops out. Yeah, works. I like how that covers the windows. You don't need to see what you're doing. What else do we need? We only need to send up one volunteer, right? Garley is level 2. Let's think about this. If Garley plants a flag on the Mun, how much is that worth? Shoot, we might not have any. Plant flag is worth 5. So he would get an extra 2 points, and then What is Flyby of the Sun worth? All right. Urban Venture wants to know, if I invest all the money in pizza, can I keep all of them after the time runs out? No. You get one good pizza. Yeah, the pizza near me is not that great. Like I said, I'd have to drive almost an hour to get to some place with pizza that I like. Like Papa Murphy's is fine. Domino's is fine, but it's not great. It sounds like moving the goalpost. I mean, sure, I guess. It's a hypothetical question, though. Like, you're not actually getting real tangible benefits from answering the fun question. All right, guess we'll just send Garrely up. He can swap out with Valentina. We'll wait for better rendezvous. You don't have Pizzeria Uno? Nope. We have Domino's, we have Papa Murphy's, we have Pizza Ranch, and we have Happy Joe's. Oh, we should probably update the name of this thing. Never even heard of it, yeah. Oh, wait. Of Pizzeria Uno? So this is a station. It's called Eve Station 2. And there we go. Question about mobile processing labs for those of you who Kerbal experts out there. If I put a second Kerbal or mobile processing lab in orbit of something, can I then just do the same experiments again, or does it not count things that have already been processed in a lab? Chuck E. Cheese is probably the worst we have. You guys heard of Happy's Pizza? Oh, wait. Oh, I feel a tangent going on. Hang on, chat. Hold everything. All right. We're gonna take a quick detour over to Happy's Pizza. All right. So, you guys like pizza, right? 2 large, 2 toppings, $21.99. That makes sense, right? Pizza, boneless. Look at that crust, though. Oh no. 1 pound boneless wings, $11.99. Not too bad. But wait a minute, they've got more than pizza, guys. They've got dinner combos, bread and fries, salads, desserts and beverages, sides, lunch specials, barbecue, seafood. They got seafood, happy subs, burgers. I don't know what this is supposed to be. That looks like sausages to me. Or like hot dogs, maybe, which are technically sausages. That crust, though, look at that. I feel like I've seen this place on Kitchen Nightmares. I know, right? Ugh. It says ribs, chicken, and seafood. That is not a combination I want to see at a single restaurant. And this little fella here, he's not selling it to me. He looks kind of messed up. Oh, I see. The problem is the eyes. He's got 1 triangle, 1 circle, oval. All right, that's enough. Yeah, it's a pizza place, but they serve everything. They're just trying to get as many butts in the door as they can. All right, enough of that. Thank you for humoring me on my tangent. There we go. All right, back to Kerbals. Yeah, I never trust a place that sells seafood as a secondary option. Add that to the list of things Urban Venture doesn't trust. And I'm pretty sure Happy's is it might be based on the East Coast. I didn't look exactly where it was. I think somebody said it was like around Chicago, but I don't remember. I'm back in here again for no reason. We have some rescue missions, but I think we're just gonna ignore those for now. Alright, so here is Eve Station 2. We're gonna wait for it to be over the desert, and we're gonna launch the resupply shuttle. So I suppose, Urban Venture, you're in like the south of England, right? Do you guys have good seafood there? Or is it just like all fish and chips? Because I'm like a big sushi fan. I love good seafood. Just in general, but mostly sushi. Sushi and sashimi. It's tough to get it out here in the Midwest. Like, what we get is obviously not fresh. Nah, it's okay, but we import most things. All right. That is fair. All right, so we're going to send up Garely. I suppose we don't need to send engineer. Just go ahead and launch. And Vulcan Rider has posted a link to Garcia's Pizza in a pan campaign. Wait, in a panch? No. In a pan. Oh, Champagne. Okay, that's the name of the place, I think. I haven't ate fish in 7 years, so I may not be a good judge, though. All right. Beetle Rock loves sushi, but it can't be on a conveyor belt. I've had good conveyor belt sushi. But yeah, I'd prefer the stuff where you gotta order it, right? Made to order stuff. Yeah, the only time I've had conveyor belt sushi was in New York, which obviously pretty much any restaurant in New York is going to be pretty good to continue existing. It's at least tolerable. Conveyor belt sushi is a no-go. Gas station sushi, ugh. Yeah. Sometimes I just really want sushi and I'll get it, but I always regret it after the fact. Like, at the end of the day, it's still like fish and rice. But yeah, it's not the same as when you go to a place with like a real sushi chef and they're up there cutting up the fish and putting it on the little thing. I don't know what they do exactly, but whatever they do to it, it make it taste good. Finally, we agree on something. Ooh, okay. Talking about Korean food now. Emmykins loves Korean food. And I also enjoy it. Because it... I mean, that's with any kind of, like, ethnic food, right? Like, you're only gonna get the good stuff, usually. So, it's not like you're eating the bad Korean food or the stuff that you wouldn't enjoy. Which I'm sure exists. May have to go get some before the new year. But yeah, just any kind of barbecue is good. It's been a long... Well, how long has it been since I had, like, ribs or, like, brisket? Couldn't have been too long. I just don't remember the last time that it was, so... I guess it's been at least a month since I've had a good barbecue. Unless Emmykins tells me otherwise, in which case, then I would know. Alright, so that was an okay launch, I think. We've got into orbit, just about. Or into space, not quite orbit yet. Still got a bit of burning to do. It could have been better. Like, I'm seeing our ascent profile was a little steep. We probably could have turned a little faster. So what is everyone's favorite, I guess if you live in like a foreign country, then it's a little bit different. But country food from a country that you are not in or from. I know Emmykins likes Korean food. I like Japanese food. But I want to hear if there's anybody that's like got kind of a weird out of the way one. Japan on Italy or Italy. Okay, so Japanese or Italian food. I don't know, what does Italy have going for it? Spaghetti? Fettuccine? Mozzarella? Also, Urban Venture, one of my my viewers encouraged me to stick the monopropellant tanks in the gaps here. Hope you appreciate that. The balls. Pizza, pasta, and all the carbs. You know what? I do like calzones. Those are fun. Those are pretty carby. And German food, they do put gravy on everything. I like, when I lived in Germany, I really enjoyed Wiener Schnitzel. And that's about it. I like sauerkraut. Curry. Ooh. I do like curry. Ah, crap. We're like going back into the atmosphere. Probably fix that before we burn up. Just gotta turn that frown upside down. Oh. And we will burn this away. I don't mind a curry, but I feel like it's a very loose term. Yeah, there's a lot of different types of curry. Because, I mean, curry's just like a spice, right? So, however you prepare it is what it is. I don't actually know what curry is. I assume it's some kind of spice, like a chili powder. Or there's curry powder, and then the food that you make with it is the curry. So, like, chili powder makes a chili, curry powder makes a curry. Perfect, I got it. I understand food now. Gravy on cornflakes. Why would you even say that? Do they actually do that? That sounds awful. UK's favorite dish is chicken tikka masala curry. That's kind of weird. Are you sure it's not fish and chips? Can you get chicken tikka masala at the pub? Because the Germans... Oh, it was a joke. Okay. They put gravy on their gravy, the savages. We're still in the atmosphere, so I cannot warp yet. Let's see. Vulcan Rider loves tikka masala. Fair. I really like flatbreads. So whether that's a pita or a naan or whatever the one I had in Afghanistan was, which was basically a naan. Oh, have I told any of my Afghanistan stories? Or should I don't know, I should keep those behind the point reward. So if anybody wants a fun Afghanistan army story, spend those points. How much did I put it at? Did I make it too high? Ooh, I made it 15,000. That's kind of expensive. Indian food, Korean, Japanese, kebabs, pretty much anything. As you can tell from my waistline, yeah, same here. There's very little that I will not eat. One of the things that I will not eat are bell peppers, which I do not want anywhere near my food. I do not want them on my pizza. I do not want them in other foods. I definitely don't want them in salads. I'm already eating a salad. I'm already mad enough about it. Don't put a bell pepper in there. And the other food that I do not like is celery. Hate bell pepper and hate beans. I like beans. Beans are good. I don't mind like spicy peppers. Although I'm not much of like a spicy eater kind of guy. But I do like a good salsa. You hate all beans? My motto for salads is green is not my color. My motto for salads is it's not a meal, it's like an appetizer. So don't give me a salad and say here's your dinner or here's your lunch or whatever. Like there's got to be something after. It's most beans, really. Man, I love beans. Well, I should probably specify like cooked beans, which I suppose most people would say are how they like beans. That happened one time. Right, I know. But I gotta keep it as an example of what not to do. It's quite common to have a small reaction to bell peppers and celery, any watery veg, really. Yeah. Well, my thing with bell peppers is well, obviously the taste, but like the texture of it, I don't like. And with celery, it's definitely the taste. Like, I'm sure you could make celery taste good, but after you've done that, then it still has to overcome its weird, like, mushy texture. The way I describe celery tasting is like crunchy, dirty water. What about spicy foods? I don't mind spicy food. Well, okay. There's like a limit on the level of spice I can tolerate before it's too hot for me. I'm kind of a baby when it comes to spicy foods. But I do try to enjoy them as much as I can before my mouth is on fire. Emmykins love spicy foods. She can handle way hotter stuff than I can. Like my pizza, it depends on how much bacon is on it. You know, I'm gonna say, I know I brought up pizza as like kind of a universally loved food. I really like, I'll eat pizza, but it is not my first choice for anything. And I think my main issue is the sauce, like the red sauce. And then my second issue is the cheese. So basically, the entire pizza that's not the bread, I have an issue with. So like I said earlier, my favorite style of pizza is that like brick oven pizza margherita. So no red sauce. It's just like you brush olive oil on the crust, put a little bit of tomato, a little bit of basil, a little bit of cheese, and then just let it all melt on there real good. The Vulcan Rider's got a bottle of Dave's Insanity. Eek. You gotta train yourself with spicy food. Eventually you unlock those hidden flavors. I don't know. I try whatever spicy food is given to me, and it's still spicy, and I don't taste any hidden flavors. I think my tongue is just built in a way that it does not like it. Where the heck is this thing? Okay, it's over that way. There it is. All right. We got it. Let's go ahead and cancel our velocity. And then make our way over there. Do we have Chipotle? There's a Chipotle in the big town that I mentioned earlier. But we do not have one in town. Otherwise, I would be going there constantly. It's probably for the best. When I was in school, I would basically go there every day for lunch that I had class. There was one across the street from campus. Boy, did I get a lot of burritos. And those things are more than one meal, and I would just eat them in one sitting. It was bad. You unlocked the secret to Chipotle. What is the secret to Chipotle? Tell me the secret, because I don't need any more secrets. It was fine when I went there. And oh yeah, Emmykins doesn't like Chipotle because they put too much cilantro in the rice. That's true. She doesn't like cilantro. She's one of those people. Get a burrito bowl and 2 tortillas, then you get 2 meals out of a bowl. Yes. Which is probably the healthier option, to get 2 meals instead of just 1. But boy, did I force myself to eat a lot of big burritos. Alright. Just let this ride for a bit. Check the intersect. Kilometer, huh? This isn't riding very well. Let's increase the speed a bit. We've got plenty of RCS, so I'm not worried about running out. And we were getting along so well. Yeah, well, it's not her fault. She has that weird, like, gene that makes her cilantro taste like soap. So she can't ever enjoy it. I think I might have that for fruit. There's like no fruit that I like to eat. I always have to force myself. Also, most fruits make my mouth kind of burn. Or at least, okay, so bananas, blueberries. What other fruits? Mostly those two, actually. I like pineapple. I guess that's my one exception, although I can't eat too much. You know, because of the fact that it starts to digest you if you eat too much. You were just typing that? The thing about the cilantro soap? Alright, we are coming into rendezvous with Eve Station 2. Sorry, you have that reaction to water, fruit, and veg that I mentioned. I get it too. Alright, well. I don't feel so alone then. Yeah, like, I want to eat healthy, but all the healthy foods that I can, like, tolerate the taste of. Either... Well, when I say tolerate the taste of, what can I eat? I don't really like apples. It makes your mouth itch. Yeah, I get that's what happens. I remember because my grandma had a garden when I was growing up, and she had blueberries, and we would go pick blueberries and then eat the blueberries, and it would make my mouth itch a lot. And I just assumed it was because my body was rejecting the healthy food. Can I eat tomatoes? Yeah, I can eat tomatoes. I don't like them, though. I'll like have them on a burger, but they're not my favorite. Or in like, I guess in a salad again, as long as the salad has good dressing on it. Tomato, yeah, tomato's a fruit. I can eat fruit. It's only some fruits that do that. And the other ones I just don't like the taste of. Like apples, although, are there people out there who actually like the taste of apples? You can overcome it. Apparently it's a contact reaction and more often you eat them. I don't want to eat fruit. And Vulcan Rider is also saying he likes Greek food. Oh, heck yeah. So when... this is another army story. I gotta save these because I can't be giving them away for free. I only have so many. I'll just say you guys all know I was an Arabic linguist. And so a couple of times while I was in school, our professors did like a potluck thing, and they would bring in different Arabic dishes. And there's a lot, it's Mediterranean, right? So there's a lot of overlap with Greek. So it was really good. A lot of falafel. My GF has apples with peanut butter as her favorite snack. Yeah. I try to like mask the flavor of things I don't like with peanut butter or whatever. Like, you know, you put peanut butter on celery or whatever, and it just never works. I end up just like scooping up peanut butter and then like eating the peanut butter off of the thing and then throwing the other thing away. I do the same thing with hummus because I really like hummus. And I think, oh, I'll have just get some like baby carrots and I'll eat some hummus or some celery and I'll eat them with the hummus. I just scoop the hummus out and eat the hummus and then throw away the celery or the carrot. And yeah, Emmykins likes fruits and vegetables. She's a normie. That's how she manages to stay in such good shape. All right, so we are approaching the station. Let's get situated here. First things first, we need to orient this pointing up, which it is. So then this needs to be like this. I want it to be pointing anti-normal. Everybody in that region claims kebab as their own. The Arabs, the Persians, the Afghans, Greeks, everybody. I know, it's so good. It's like everybody trying to claim pizza, although I think Italy kind of... Like, Italy has the, like, origin of pizza, but I feel like enough places have done their own thing with pizza. Although... I was on a Twitch channel a couple of weeks ago, and pizza came up, and one of the people said that they liked corn on their pizza. Hummus is chickpeas, which are beans. Pass. That's true, they are technically beans. Oh, going wrong way. Let's do this the right way. Slow it down. Back it off. Oop. Come on. Every time you eat more hummus than the last. Yeah. Corn does improve most things, but does it improve pizza though? I mean, I guess I should try it before I judge it, but it just seems like it's a Japanese thing. Yeah, I've heard that from Japan, but this person was from Austria. So, I don't know. Oh, wait, are we like... Oh, we're like impacting. Hang on, let's back up. Probably don't want to be doing that. Probably have fine controls on here. There we go. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and enable crossfeed. And out. The Germans do that. The first time we went to Pizza Hut in Germany, they offered pizza with corn and broccoli. Oh, I guess. Oh, what is going on here? This should have 0 damping. Right. Alright, so that should be good. All the fuel is out. Let's undock. Okay, still counts, so no issues there. Make sure this is pointing the correct orientation. All right, close the hatch and point prograde. No, point retrograde. Most veggie pizza here will have corn on it. Man, that's so weird. I mean, like, weird for me. Obviously, it's not weird for people that are used to it. feel like Americans, for the most part, just put like lots of meat on their pizza. And maybe that's true for like all of our food, really. Very meat heavy. Let's take a look at our drop zone here. So I know what Urban Venture and Starchard will say. Pineapple on pizza? Okay, well, I'm going to say yes. For the same reason that you put pineapple on ham. The sweet and the savory goes well together. And I don't mind cooked pineapple. I'm from Hawaii. I'll have pineapple in basically any form you can get it to me. Including soft serve ice cream. Emmykin says, I remember my middle school health textbook having something about pizza with broccoli, trying to make it seem weird and gross. I remember thinking I'd try that. Yeah, Emmykins will eat all kinds of weird veggies on her pizza. Alright. Be good. Oh. Oh, do we use all the RCS? No way. I never thought we'd use all that. Alright, so I have said my piece about pineapple. I think it's fine. In fact, my favorite pizza is probably Hawaiian pizza, which technically was invented in Canada, but it's close enough to... If it was a Hawaiian pizza, it would be pineapple and Spam, not Canadian bacon or ham. In fact, speaking of Spam, so everybody knows the Dr. Seuss story, Green Eggs and Ham, right? Well, in elementary school, this is in Hawaii, obviously, we did Green Eggs and Spam for Dr. Seuss's birthday. So we had eggs, we had Spam, we put blue food coloring in the eggs to make them green. We fried those up. We fried up some Spam. Boom, Green Eggs and Spam. Delicious. I'm not seeing any discussion of the pineapple on pizza. Where are my pineapple on pizza fans? Get in here, everybody. I'm doing everything he says in his video and it's still not working. What are you trying to do exactly? Maybe we can walk you through it a little bit better. You're too young to remember C rations. Yeah, that was the pre-MRE, right? Yeah, I grew up with MREs and then ate MREs in the army and then got out and still love MREs. Oh, Vulcan Rider loves Hawaiian pizza with bacon. Oh, I do like swapping it out for bacon, absolutely. Okay, you're doing a science data contract? What is the mission? What does it involve? What does it say to do? Ooh, I have one. It's not an army story that I can tell. So, in addition to visiting Pearl Harbor like 1,000 times, we also went to a couple of luau's, like, you know, the touristy ones, right? Like you go when there's like traditional food and they cook a pig underground. But I really gained an affinity for poi, which is mashed up, watered down taro root. So imagine like a mashed potato, except it's cold and kind of slimy. It's actually pretty good. Gather scientific data from Kerbal. Okay, so oh, you completed it. Okay, well, there you go. Happy to help. You have to, yeah, you have to bring it back to, you have to recover the science. So either recovering the vessel or recovering a Kerbal holding the data, and that'll complete it. If you just do it, it won't finish it. You know where Waihawa is then? Not specifically. I haven't lived there in decades. All I remember is I lived on Oahu. I went to school in the elementary school is called Kanoalani. I don't remember where exactly it is. It's like a suburb of Honolulu. What else? North Shore. Humu Nuku Nuku Apua'a. That's the state fish. Oh, the Navy base near Pearl. I probably went there, but I don't remember it. I just remember every time anybody came to visit us, we had to go to the Pearl Harbor Memorial and sit in this theater and watch a video about it, and then take the boat out to the memorial and look at the boat in the water. I got to launch 70K altitude. All right, that shouldn't be too hard. So, which parts do you have unlocked right now? Because you could probably pull that off with SRBs, but you might, if you have liquid fuel, you might want to use that instead. What was the other one? The bay, Hanama Bay, like a big scuba site, it's like a reef. Went up to Diamond Head once, I think. Went to Maui. You'll need about 1,800 meters per second. Not sure how obvious it is, but a 60-foot satellite dish. Yeah, I don't think I would have seen that. This is all like kid stuff. Be right back. All the food talk has made me hungry. Isn't it like 3 in the morning there? He's just gonna go dig a block of cheese out of the refrigerator like a gremlin. Maybe. That's fair. I mean, if you got nothing to do, right? I love staying up late if I can swing it. But unfortunately, due to me having a job that has regular hours, my sleep schedule has been hammered into place, and I cannot break it even if I want to. I don't like it. I wish I could have a different schedule, but this is how the world works, I suppose. Does anybody actually use these RCS ports? Like, I know they're there, and I know that they're probably semi-useful, but I've just never, like, relied on them. Well, I'm glad to see that there are some lovers of Hawaiian pizza. I'm about to switch schedules to nights, and I'm not super excited. Yeah. So for about a year, before I started school, I had like nothing to do. And my schedule completely flipped. I'm basically on Australian time. So I was playing games all night, and then I would sleep all through the day. And it was awesome. And I would love to go back to that, because I met so many cool people from like other time zones that I could actually play with and talk to. I hear sleeping in is a thing, and I'll give it a shot. I can't sleep in anymore. I am out of bed by like 7:30 at the latest, even on weekends. Like today, I got up at like 7. All right, you only have RT5 solid booster. I don't think that's gonna get you to 70K. It'll get you pretty high though. Make sure you set the thrust limiter if that's a thing you can do in the console version. Otherwise, you'll shoot like a bullet and it'll slow you way down. The Eye of Sauron, everybody. Oh, here's a fun question. So, I have this D&D campaign, or I guess it's not really a campaign, it's like a world that I've been working on for a while now. What? Oh, here, I'll show you as soon as this wraps up. I don't know exactly how it works on console, but basically you need to do the equivalent of a right click on the solid rocket booster, and there should be an option for a thrust limiter. Let me bring Garely home real quick. All right, we're gonna physics warp just to keep things going. There's the mountains over there. Let's double check our altitude. Oh, right. Oh, the D&D world. So I have this D&D world that I've been working on, right? And I've sprinkled a lot of science fiction elements in. But I don't know how receptive people are generally to, like, mixing sci-fi and fantasy. I would also check if advanced tweakables is an option. I don't think you need advanced tweakables for that particular setting, but yeah, you should definitely have advanced tweakables on. Oh, hey, there's Rainbow Yeti. He's got the pog. Amazing. Welcome back, Rainbow Yeti. Thanks for stopping in for some Kerbals with everybody. We're having a great night. You missed the pizza conversation, though. It was great. Feel free to weigh in on your Hawaiian pizza preference. Some people really hate pineapple on pizza, and I just do not get it. But yeah, Beetle Rock's right. If you can go into the options here, actually here, I'll show you. Go into settings. There should be a, where is it? Advanced tweakables under gameplay. You want this enabled. All right, Kerpe wants some financial advice. All right, so I know it's not fun. I know it's nobody's idea of a good time, but you gotta set a budget for yourself. You need to know, first, obviously we've talked about doing a, looking at your spending, like tracking your spending for a month. Once you've done that, you really need to look hard at what you're spending your money on. Make sure it is, because personal finance is personal, right? So make sure that the money that you're spending things on is getting you something that is making your life more meaningful. Obviously, food, rent, transportation, these are all kind of non-negotiables, right? But if you're looking at your luxury spending and you spent $1,200 on a new fursuit, you need to think, where's that $1,200 coming from? And can I really afford to be doing this every year? Obviously, if it's like, I don't know how often you need to replace those things, but that's just an example. Don't take that as good advice just yet. Yeah, make sure you're saving money. Okay, so you want specific advice. So I don't know how it is in Lithuania, but you should be able to open up some kind of retirement account. In the US, you can open up an IRA, which is basically a tax advantaged account. You don't pay taxes on the money. Either you don't pay money on the taxes on the money you put in, or you don't pay taxes on the money you take out. I'd have to look at Lithuania, but otherwise, if you don't have anything like that available, you should be able to go through your bank and start investing in mutual funds or exchange traded funds or bonds. There should be government bonds available. All right. So we got a couple of questions. So Jesse, I will get to your question in a second. Let's head into the VAB and I'll show you what I mean. So Kerpe, if you've just got money sitting in the bank, you are losing money. You need to put that somewhere else. New. All right, so assuming you're at the beginning of the game, you'll have access to the Mark I cockpit, or the command pod. And you've got the SRB. Which one do you have? The RT5. RT5, that's the fleet, yep. So you put it on, you right click, and it has a thrust limiter. You want to open up this little menu here if you have that available, and set it low enough that your thrust to weight is like 1.5. So something around 20 would be good, or 20.5, 21. And that'll give you a lot more control. Got a Kerbal question when you get done with Jesse. All right, so Jesse, let me know if that answers your question. Rainbow Yeti says, I would have shown up earlier, but I got busy. Pineapple on pizza's pretty good, just not my first choice. That's legitimate. He's telling me to use stuff that I don't have. Okay. So if you don't have access to the thrust limiter, well, you may have problems. Oh, you had a phone call. Okay. You have access to this. All right. So you've got the command pod. You've got the solid fuel booster, the flea. Do you have the thrust limiter? Yes. Okay. So set that to about 21 if it's just these two parts. And that'll get your thrust to weight ratio around 1.5, which is a good balance between speed and efficiency. All right, so Vulcan Rider, what is your Kerbal question? I'll do my best to answer, but keep in mind I'm not like super expert. Kerbal, I hope that answered your questions. I can do some research later if you want and see what Lithuania has for retirement and investment accounts. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing launched. But first we need to make sure that the station is where we want it to be, which it is not. It's over here. There she goes, around and round. That's how orbits work. All right, there we go. So, Rainbow Yeti, what is your first choice in pizza? And leaving the moon, burn retrograde at the front side of the mun until your orbit is around Kerbin, right? Yeah, so here, let me head over there and show you real quick. So, mun. So you're in a counterclockwise orbit, right? Like this. That sounds unfair. I should put in work with research too. I mean, you can put in work too, but it shouldn't take too long. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of information available right now on the surface. All right, so if let's say you're on the equator, say you're right here. You want to take off, you want to go 90 degrees, or not 90 degrees right away, or you'll crash. Basically, you want to take off, and like you're circularizing around Kerbin, you want to be going east, and then get into a nice stable orbit around like 20 kilometers, and then circularize. My first choice is called a meat lover's pizza. Oh yeah, I'm right with you there. You said 20? Yeah, 20 is where you want your thrust limiter to be on that for just a command pod on top. All right, so Vulcan, yeah, take off, point east, and then circularize. And then in order to return, so circularize first, very important. Once you've circularized, then you want to burn prograde around here. So you're traveling, you get here, you burn prograde. That's going to extend your orbit out this way, right? But then once you leave the sphere of influence, you're like out here. Now you're traveling this way around Kerbin, and you'll start going back in. And once you've entered the atmosphere, you can just let it pull you in, and it'll slow you down. All right, and we're Meat Lover's Pizza. We got that. Kerbal going to put in some research, maybe. And yes, 20. So I think I got it caught up with everybody. Now I need to hurry up and launch before we run out of time. I can't go 20, keeps moving past. Oh, just around 20 is fine. It doesn't have to be specific exactly 20. But yeah, it's kind of fiddly, I know. It's a percentage, right? Like, as long as you're close, it should be fine. All right, let's launch this thing. Make sure we've got Garely on board. And this should actually be all we need to do to fuel this thing up. Also, Kerpe, I thought you weren't feeling good. What are you doing up so late? You're as bad as Urban Venture. I guess you gotta be up when the entertainment is around, right? When I was a kid, I used to stay up late and watch Jay Leno, which I know is kind of weird. Why would I stay up and watch Jay Leno? Because it was what was on, and we only had like 3 channels, and I liked the monologues, so there. Can't sleep. Oh no. Well, I'm glad maybe my voice can help soothe your mind. I'll try my best. Unlike Mike, I do not yell or scream or shout come. I'm just here to play some Kerbal Space Program and help people with their problems as best as I can. Get some aerodynamic forces here. A little bit tough, but I think we can fight through them. We are aerodynamic after all. Yeah, that's it. Maybe it's your fault, Star. Maybe. For your first career, I would recommend using a science career. I mean, you can definitely do a regular career. It's fine. Like on normal mode, it's still very easy. All right, there we go. Now, I wish I had Fred's voice because his is a voice that I find, if not soothing, then at least very interesting. Whenever he's talking about something, I can't help but listen. I hope you guys have been having a lot of fun with the meat streams. And I think you guys still need to finish that, right? Yeah, tomorrow's more WikiHow. Fred Knudsen, he does YouTube documentaries, but he also is on Twitch, and Kerpe has been doing some streams with him since he did some art. It's kind of a... Everybody's very interconnected here. Just the nature of the internet, I suppose. It's made the world very small. But at the same time, very niche. Oh, okay, we're getting a little spicy here. Hang on. I actually cannot get out of this. We're going too fast. Oh. That is not ideal. Can we climb out of this? Before the solar panels burn up? We can try. We can certainly try. Ugh. I've been having some real bad luck launching these things, huh? Oh my goodness, something just happened. You two people who I think have very soothing voices. Well, me? Mike does not. Mike does not have a soothing voice. He has a funny, bombastic voice. What I would consider it. I think these solar panels are gonna break off any minute now. And Fred Knudsen. I think Emmykins can shout him out if she wants. Although I don't know his Twitch name off the top of my head. I think it's just Frederick Knudsen. The guy who narrates how it's made, and Mike Rowe. Oh, that's who people you think have very soothing. Okay. Oh, the how it's made guy. Yeah, that's some quality voice right there. Oh, okay, we're going a little I've gone too far in a few places. I got distracted again. Why does this keep happening, chat? And yes, Emmykins, tomorrow is more WikiHow. We'll be taking a look at some articles that I have bookmarked. Micro is a damn treasure. Yeah, he's got a good voice too. All right. So let's go ahead and set our target. And we're going to have to put in a little bit of extra work here to get our rendezvous lined up, since we spent so much time burning up in the atmosphere. What about those Final Fantasy voices? You got to be more specific. You know how many Final Fantasies there have been? At least 15. Oop, let's not do that. Target. If you haven't listened to his podcast the way I heard it, go listen to them. It's amazing. Is that Mike Rowe's podcast, or the guy who narrates how it's made, or is it both of them? Because that would certainly be interesting. Gandalf does some great voices for his oh, he's been playing Final Fantasy. I see. Certainly not soothing on my throat. Yeah, that was one of the concerns that I had. Because I don't, like, as much as I want to do, like, funny voices, I also don't want to wreck my throat doing funny voices, so I've kind of not been doing funny voices. Alright, so let's zero out our velocity here. Then we can focus on catching this guy. Alright, make sure our periapsis is outside of the atmosphere. It's going to be our first priority, of course. Alright, well now we just have another problem. What are alternatives to SMP? Funnily enough, COVID makes it feel too speculative to go near to. Ah, there we go. Emma found it. Yes, that's what I wanted. Kerpe has been doing some Flesh Pit streams, the Mystery Flesh Pit National Park, which is something I wanted to look at as well at some point. But I think Fred just has a knack for these strange, esoteric, weird things, and his voice really lends itself well to exploring them. And yeah, he does Down the Rabbit Hole. Yeah, that's the guy. Let's see. So Kerpe wants to know alternatives to SMP. The DAO, I guess, technically. You could just do like a really big index. There should be some funds that are like a snapshot of the whole market, which would be pretty solid. I mean, the way I see it is, if every stock is down, then you have bigger problems than whether the stock market is up or down. The Owl Lad, yes. He now has an owl Sona. It's wonderful. And Kerpe did the art and the rig for the VTuber avatar. And Kerpe is a phenomenal artist if you haven't checked out his art streams. Although today you were playing Dark Souls, right? It's a little bit of back and forth. I think a lot like possibly an Alien, who does Mass Effect and then does her art streams on Tuesday, which I'm very much looking forward to, because me and her went back and forth a bit last week on a young adult sci-fi romance series about an alien who comes to Earth and falls in love with a human high school girl. Kind of like Twilight, but not creepy or weird. but also at the same time kind of creepy and weird. And she's going to be drawing one of the characters from that. All right, we need to point ourselves at the station. Now that I've gotten thoroughly distracted by chat, talking about nonsense. All right, scooching it on over. Go. Intersect 4.1 is not bad. Oh, now it's getting worse. Just have to keep an eye on that, I guess. Make sure our periapsis is good. It is. And also, Kerbal has some... Why does it have a Craigasm at the end of... I need to fix Moobot so that it doesn't have a Craigasm after everything. That's, not quite on brand. Well, okay, so... I know it wasn't chat's fault that we blew up Jeb, right? But at the same time... Somebody brought up Kerbal porn, and I had to respond. What else was I gonna do? Just sit there and be like, oh yeah, that's fine. I can just leave that hanging for a bit. I wanted to clear it up right away, and that was my fault. Yep. F's for Jeb, rip to a real one. He died as he lived. Sitting in a command pod waiting for orders. Yeah, plenty of F's. He's the only casualty we've had so far. I consider that a pretty darn good space program. Now, obviously, we haven't reached XCOM levels of casualties yet. But, you know, if we ever play XCOM, maybe we will. We'll name all the soldiers after Kerbals. Alright. We're going kind of fast relative to the station, aren't we? Not sure how I feel about that. Anytime I'm playing, no reverts. Yeah, no reverts, absolutely. No reverts, no quick save, no quick load. If anything happens, it happens. Even if it's a bug. We just chalk it up to the Kraken and call it a day. Oh, okay, we're coming in like real hot on this thing. We better keep an eye on this. All right, there we go. Jeb and Val died pretty early. I mean, the way Jeb died, though, it wasn't like the way a Jeb should die, right? Like, he was chilling in a pod, waiting for a resupply mission. Same as this right now, basically. He was in the Cupola module, and there's a clip of it, if you, I guess, want to check it out, specifically what happened. But it was basically this. Jeb was in the station. There was a supply ship coming in. I got distracted by chat for like 30 seconds. And I was coming in way too fast, which was my fault. And then an RCS port clipped the Cupola module going about 12 meters a second and exploded it. I don't know if you have it open, but I sent you a link on Discord. All right. You guys are talking amongst yourselves. That's good. I like to see chatting. That's what it's there for. There we go. I think we can safely switch to RCS here. How do you guys feel about like bigger chats where there's so much going on that it's hard to keep up? All right, that's good to hear, Jesse J. Hope you have a long and illustrious Kerbal career on the Xbox. It's a great game once you get okay, even just okay at it. You don't have to be good at it. Like, I'm not good at it. I get a lot of backseating from chat. Manly Guy tutorial videos are helping. Yeah, Scott Manley's did some great tutorials back in the day. I don't think he's done a lot of Kerbal stuff since then. He's mostly moved on to real space. Actually just did a video about the James Webb Telescope. KSP is not for oh, the big chat's not for you, Kerpe? Or KSP is not for you? Or both? I would love to see you try to play KSP. I think it's the Dark Souls of space games. It just made 6 science when landing in the water. Yeah, landing in different places can get you different science early on. Chat. Yeah, like I've been in Fred's chat and he has like, you know, 500 people. You can't keep up. You can't have a conversation. Like, it's cool for him that he's got that many viewers, but it must be stressful because I know he likes to interact with chat. KSP seems fun. Yeah, you should give it a try. I guess you don't have to stream it, but it can be a very relaxing game. Not the way I play it, but if you're like a normal person, I think you can get a lot of relaxation out of the game. All right, let's go anti-normal here. Make sure we're pointed correctly. Yep, we are. There we go. Gotta leave the atmosphere, huh? That shouldn't be too hard, although you may need to spend a little bit of science getting bigger rockets. And probably some decouplers. Ran into Urban Venture and Manly's stream last week. Wait, Scott Manley does streams? What the heck? How did I not know this? I should have known. Let's be extra careful here. We don't want to clip a solar panel or the relay. That was fun. How many people were in there? I know he's got a pretty big YouTube following, so I imagine people that are really into him. Obviously not me, because I had no idea. Wednesday at midnight your time. 200, holy moly. I can only dream of having 200 people in chat. I don't even know what I would do. Well, hey, maybe someday, right? I'll have to become more entertaining, I think. I would feel obligated to give more entertainment value. Alright, am I going the right way here? No. I overshot again. And more Scottish. He is oh, that's right. That's his Twitch name. I think I've seen that before. Did I put on fine controls? Oh, well, we're done. We got it. All right, let's get everything in. Are we gonna have to do a third mission? Okay, we're gonna have to do a third mission, I guess. Undock. He streams really late, which is weird because I think he lives in California now, right? 11 viewers puts you in the top 1% of Twitch. That's crazy to think about. Like, there's so many streamers and so many of them get stuck on 0 or like 1 views. But you know what? I'm thankful for everybody who... Wait a minute. Oh, we need to go retrograde, that's right. I'm thankful for everyone who chooses to spend their limited time on this earth and take some of it and put it in my stream. Very, very grateful. I hope that I can entertain you as much as I possibly can. Alright, let's go ahead and go. Burn off all this RCS. Goodbye, Eve Station 2. Kerbal, you've had some pretty big streams, right? I know, I don't remember how many were there for Sekiro. I guess Fred raided you, right? And then a bunch of people stuck around when you got the Deathless run, which was awesome. I should do some kind of challenge like that. I guess I kind of am with KSP, but it's not really the kind of thing you can have a speedrun time or two, right? It's all about the cat ears, yeah. Everybody show up, check out the cat ears. That's how you know I'm legit. Someday I'm gonna get one of those the ear microphones and do ASMR like Amaranth or whoever. I don't know that many streamers, to be honest. I think I mostly know the ones that have had big scandals that Fred has covered on his Down the Rabbit Hole stuff. So Darkside Phil and Wings of Redemption. Yeah, but it can be pretty difficult to keep viewers from AIDS. Yeah, for sure. Is that what she does? I don't know. I think so. Or like hot tub streams. I don't know. I don't think I could fit a hot tub in my living room. It's too small. But I wouldn't want to provide that kind of entertainment either anyway. I think it's very, I don't know. I don't want to say lowbrow because that seems insulting, but it's not my style. Is she also the, I mean, there's lots of hot tub streamers. Yeah. Who is this? Who is this streamer that I have never heard of? I've never watched such content. It's alright. You can watch what you like. I mean, heck, you're in here, right? Like, that's just how it goes. And I think as far as raids go, it's very important that when you get a raid, it's from somebody who is similar to you, right? So, like, if a KSP streamer raids, people who watch KSP obviously are more likely to stick around and watch KSP and then follow and whatever. Whereas if someone's playing, like, I don't know, Apex Legends and they randomly roll the dice and pick me to raid, people are going to show up, be like, what the heck is this crap, and then leave. She's the Julia. Perhaps. Either her or Pokimane. And I don't mean to alarm you guys, but it's like after 9 o'clock, so we're going to start wrapping it up here shortly. But I do want to thank everybody who came out and participated in the pizza conversation. Pokimane. How do you get so many stars in your sky? That's vanilla. I don't know. It might be my graphic settings. So yeah, so thanks everybody who showed up and talked about pizza with me. And thank you, Kerbal, for redeeming your channel points. I think everybody might be saving them for the more expensive stuff, so it's nice to see somebody actually using the low-level ones. Oh, the boosted ambient lighting. Yeah, that's true. I did change that so people could see more. Let's see. I hope you guys aren't all saving up for picking a next game. So that could be bad. But I do appreciate it, either one way or the other, whether you're saving them or spending them. And I hope everybody, if you get a chance, will stop in tomorrow for some WikiHow nonsense. I've got some articles that'll make your jaw drop at the stupidity and make you think, like, who is writing these and why, first of all, and who is reading them. I will get all the advice and become wealthy. I mean theoretically, yes. The hard part about becoming wealthy is actually sticking to your, well, okay. So obviously if you're like come from a rich family, there's no hard part about becoming wealthy. You get it. It just gets handed to you. If you're working your way up from the bottom, then you have to have a level of discipline and you got to be able to stick to your plan even when times get rough. And even at the end of that, you're still not going to be a big rich man unless you really get a good income going. So hey, if your art commission stuff ever takes off, maybe you just gotta reach your audience, you know? Like that guy who made the bean, the Boston bean. No, not Boston, the Chicago bean. That like real jerk artist. I don't know if you saw that on Fred's stream. You might have been there. I can't remember. And Emmykins is saving all hers up to use on the army stories. And oh, it has nothing to do with BTS. Gotcha. Haha, very funny. Let's oh, I have SAS on. So he lost more than he gained from that bean. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's kind of a jerk, right? Yeah, BTS fans are called ARMY. I'm a simple man. I just want a collection of 50s Telecasters / Les Pauls. Well, good luck with that. I have one guitar, and one of the strings broke, and it's been sitting in my basement for like 5 years. Probably more than that, actually. Because I'm too lazy to go get a replacement string for it. BTS is a K-pop group. They have some pretty popular songs. Butter, Permission to Dance, Boy with Love, Dynamite. Oh. Poor Vulcan Rider. He has to put up with this K-pop nonsense. Oh, slowly re-entering. Let's see if we can physics warp here and not burn up. Since I'm trying to wrap it up, the game is not going along with it. That's instrument abuse, and I wouldn't stand for it if I didn't have like 3 guitars that are in parts right now. I mean, I wouldn't call it abuse. I didn't break the string on purpose. I just don't play instruments. Like, I got it. I wanted to learn guitar. I realized my fingers are my hands are way too small to play guitar with any level of proficiency, so I should just get a ukulele. And then I broke the string and never bothered to replace it because I didn't play anyway. Neglect is abuse. It's not neglect, though. It's in a case. Like, it's not just sitting out in the open. How is that any different from use you, boomer? So, tomorrow is the WikiHow stuff. Wednesday, we are gonna be doing Oxygen Not Included, so if you either like the game or aren't familiar with the game and want to see what it is, feel free to drop in. And then Friday, I haven't decided yet. Maybe more Kerbals. We might end up doing 2 days of Kerbals a week, because that seems to be super popular. Rip RimWorld, yeah. RimWorld, me and RimWorld are having issues right now. More specifically, I am remembering why I don't like RimWorld very much. Oxygen Not Included will be a lot of fun. I'm much better at that game than I am at RimWorld. I have a Kerbal in a pod and water, but I don't know how to get them back. So you just need to recover Vessel, which it may be if somebody who has the console version can tell you the controls. But basically, if you are splashed down, you should be able to go up here at the top and it'll slide down and say recover. So if you want to get a dupe named after you, make sure you show up early and throw your name in the hat so we can get a bunch of people. Well, you start with 3, right? So we'll get 3 names of dupes in, and then as we get more, we can name them after more chatters. And Jesse J, I'm glad to see that you are picking it up pretty quickly. It's not a hard game, but it can be a complicated game. I think we can time warp for a bit. I'm really dragging out this sign off, aren't I? Oh, and I guess this is Saturday's coming up. I was informed that it is New Year's. I don't plan to stream, but I might, depending on how things shake out, how partied out I am, which, knowing me, is not at all. I'll just do my regular schedule. Vulcan Rider's son-in-law here has a YouTube video. Ooh, that was close. Waited a bit long to pop those shoots. Hope you guys didn't eat too many sweets over the holidays here. Now I have to figure out how to leave atmosphere with my pod I have. Well, I can maybe show you some techniques real quick before we finish up here. Like I said, I have tomorrow off of work still, so staying up a little late's not going to kill me. Well, it might, but... So I guess if I'm not streaming tomorrow, it's because you guys killed me through lack of sleep. Alright, splash down. Let's go. Come on. There we go. The link is a YouTube of my son-in-law playing guitar. Oh, okay, he's just playing guitar. Cool. Good? Alright, you have to figure out how to leave atmosphere. Yep, you have to get above 70k. So, make sure you take all the science. Oh no. Oh no, what? Is it the video? Alright, Jesse J, make sure you take as much science as you can get and unlock basic rocketry and engineering 101. And that'll go a long way to getting you better parts and better rockets. So for a good, nice Kirk Hammett ESP, the best way, I would say, would take a Mark 1 command pod. We killed you. Oh, no, not yet. I'm not dead yet. I'm hanging in there. Don't worry, guys. Is do that. Grab the PD12 decoupler, like so. And then stack a bunch of these fuel tanks. I don't know how many exactly. And then throw on a swivel, like that. Basically, you make a rocket out of these parts, and it should get you pretty far, actually. And you may need to keep snapping stuff on there. Is there multiplayer? There is a mod for it, but it's very, very buggy. In KSP 2, there's going to be mod multiplayer built in, so we're all kind of excited about how that's going to work. All right. Do not save. No, I do not want that. How do I go to the skill tree? You need to go into the research and development area. So if you're on the main KSC page, you would go to research and development, which is this building here. All right, you got it. Good deal. All right. So let's see. Where's the thing? There we go. Stream ending. I don't want it to say ending soon. I want it to say stream ending. What do you guys think? Ending soon or stream ending? What sounds better? Because like I said, I'm going to be going back and getting these redone in the future. So if you have any tips, tricks, I don't know what I'm asking for. If you have any suggestions for the overlays, please let me know before I go back to the artist and say, hey, or do these things. All right, so let me see if there's anybody to raid this evening. Kerpe, I wish you were streaming. I would raid you, but I know you're already in bed and usually stream before me. Oh, King Akira is playing Kerbal Space Program as well. So I will send you guys over his way. A good night, everyone. Jesse J, King Akira should be able to help you with any questions you might have. So hopefully that helped you. Yeah, get back to your cave, Kerpe. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, if you're streaming. Alright, I've clicked the button. Give it a second. Oh yeah, tomorrow WikiHow. Be there or don't, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, Star Shard again! Star Shard again! Thank you again with the raid. Hello! That's really cool. Beetle Rock. My viewers need KSP advice? Only if it's newbie questions. I don't do advanced stuff. Oh my gosh! It's Urban Venture! What's up, my man? Hello. Hey guys. Thank you again for the raid. Good to see you guys again. I try to keep it like newbie friendly. I try to keep things newbie friendly. Okay, you know what? Let's just go ahead and launch this and show again. Hey Vulcan Rider, welcome back. Hey guys. I'm trying to how do you do an Eve return mission? No idea. Eve is the last boss of the game. I don't think you should be doing that if you're new. I have never done an Eve mission